I don't care about nothing else. Yo, what's good, y'all? Mikey T, the movie star. You already know what it is. The most hated, yet anticipated. The Mikey T, the kid you'd rather be. That's right. I'm back. What a versus battle we had last night, you guys. What a versus battle we had last night. I wanted to come on and talk about it tonight. Wanted to come on and talk to everybody about it. Wanted to recap the versus battle. Fitting to see what's good with everybody tonight. About to roll up. We are in the pre-show right now. Definitely appreciate everybody that's tuning in. Go ahead and share this video. Hit that like button. Share this video on Facebook, on Twitter, or just share it with a bunch of your friends on the gram. You know what I'm saying? Let them know Mikey T and the panel are going live tonight. Let them know we got a hot show. We're doing an official recap. We're going to go over quite a bit from the versus battle. Fat Joe versus Ja Rule, official versus battle. We're doing a crazy recap tonight. Also, we got a couple other things to talk about. Obviously, 50 Cent saying that he put Murder Inc., Irv Gotti out of business. You know what I mean? Of course, we all knew 50 would have something to say after this epic battle. Um, well, I mean, he kind of got called out. He kind of got called out. We're gonna discuss it all tonight. Even Little Mo and Remy Ma started getting into it after a while. You know what I'm saying? They even started getting into it after a while. They've had an exchange since the versus battle on Instagram. We're gonna go over that as well. We'll talk about another topic with Ti tonight. We're going to be talking about Ti as well. The fact that Ti actually had a couple battle challenges. Ti challenged a couple people, and he's been challenged. I don't know. I don't know. Damn, Dana. Dana really giving the battle a hard time. What up, Hulk Strong? Appreciate you. Veta Loop in the building, Schizo in the building, all my people in the building right now. Um, Dana Watkins says this battle was boring and a waste of time. I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I'm gonna have to disagree with you on the real because I don't think that's accurate. To be real with you, I think this was actually my favorite battle so far. Like, and I'm not even capping you guys. Maybe you guys will think that I'm wrong. Maybe some of you will agree. Maybe based on the fact of the history that we've seen of Ja Rule and Fat Joe, you know, the fact that they are solo MCs. You know what I mean? It's always different when you look at a solo MC compared to a group. You have a bit of a more a personal, you know what I mean, a personal interaction with a solo MC than you do with a group. That might be why I find this to be my favorite battle. Now, if you look back to one of the other more popular ones, Gucci Man versus Young Jeezy, I think I'd put Ja Rule and Fat Joe ahead of them because of the amount of hits that both of them have that, you know, resonate with me. You know what I'm saying? Gucci Man, obviously, he was an originator in Atlanta. He brought forth a sound that I love today. Hell, you guys know I listen to Young Thug, I listen to the Migos, I even mess with Future, Rich Homie Quan. That whole sound that Gucci Man birthed, I really mess with it. But we're talking hits now, you guys. What up, nameless person? Appreciate you for tapping in. Definitely appreciate you for tapping in tonight. We got a dope show. I want everybody to share this link. I want everybody to hit the like button. We got a dope show tonight. We're going to be speaking all about the versus battle. We're going to be going over it round for round, literally. Yeah, Veta. You know, a lot of people will continue to say that their favorite was the Locks versus Dipset. A lot of people will continue to say that. That was an epic battle. Eric says you got to understand that Ja made those hits that will stay with us forever. We were all in high school, middle school, Elementary School, man, has some of the most undoubtedly great hits. Yeah, Josh said it in the battle. He was like, yo, I took people through middle school, high school, and college. I took people through 6 summers. I'm not sure if it was exactly 6 summers, but he was like, I took people through 6 summers of their life playing music. A lot of people out there will probably remember going to the whatever those dances are called, whether it's the homecoming dance and them playing some Ja Rule music. You know what I'm saying? But that's not to say they don't play Fat Joe music as well. You can't tell me that they're not playing Make It Rain at the prom. So, I knew Fat Joe had really had some credibility to actually go up against Ja Rule. Vettis has definitely brought back the good old days. Tasty Love says, I loved it. One of the best to me. Yeah, I think it's now a top three. You know what I mean? I think it's definitely a top three. No disrespect to, X and Snoop. No disrespect to some of the other battles. You know what I'm saying? But I think this makes the top three right here. Ja Rule is the truth. Give that man his flowers. Ja Rule really proved a lot. Ja Rule really proved a lot to a lot of people, I want to say, in this battle. I'm waiting on a couple of my co-hosts, but we still are in the pre-show right now, you guys, just until about 10 o'clock. Pre-show life right now. It's roll-up season. You dig what I'm saying? Everybody get their blunts right. Get your drinks situated. I'm going to be joined by the hood blogger, SV Twiz, pretty shortly. Ja brought out the dust buckets straight out the crack house. Well, speaking as to somebody that has been at the crack house, the Murder Inc. studio, you guys, the crack house, it was one of the most popular spots in music, so Fat Joe kind of took it a little bit far, in my opinion, disrespecting those women like that, especially since some of the women that Ja Rule has worked with have gone over to work with Fat Joe. So I thought that was a little bit of a low blow to disrespect some, beautiful women, some women who have made timeless music. Dark Low and Havoc out right now. Mob Tales. Dark Low and Havoc, Mob Tales out right now. Off that new mixtape. It's coming under Dark Low's label, Extreme Measures, OB8 shit. But tonight we're talking about the Verzuz. We have a couple other topics as well. We're going to be speaking about T.I. We're going to be speaking about Little Mo and Remy. All pretty centered around that tonight. But definitely, if you haven't heard it, go check out Dark Low's new single. It's called Mob Tales. Might do a review on it with SV Twiz. I'll see what he thinks about that. We might do a review on Mob Tales to see how Dark Low is moving into his new project. To follow up Borrowed Time and Charlie Pope. I'm going to ask Twiz about that because we're supposed to be doing something else pertaining to BMF. I don't want to, you know what I mean? I don't want to blow the lid off of that, but we're supposed to be doing something pertaining to BMF. Damn, Yo Gotti and Little Boosie. Let me think. I want to see Yo Gotti in one. Yo Gotti and Rick Ross. I think that's the one right there, nameless. Yo Gotti and Rick Ross, I think, is the one. Because both those guys have massive amounts of hits. I don't think Boosie is going to be able to stand up against Gotti. You got to understand that, man. Boosie, I don't think he can stand up against Gotti. Gotti is, when Gucci Mane went to jail, Yo Gotti cleaned up. Yo Gotti started making so many hits. Yo Gotti started making a label. Look what Yo Gotti's got, you guys. Now he's got I hate to say it, but Yo Gotti's got a bigger label than Gucci Mane ever had. Yo Gotti's got a bigger label than Young Jeezy ever had, you guys. So that's why I'm putting Yo Gotti up against Rick Ross if we're going to start talking about something like that. Because my guy right here, Nameless, said Lil Boosie versus Yo Gotti. but I'm going to call it Yo Gotti versus Rick Ross. That would be the battle to see. That would be the next verses to see. Hitting some of this gelati right now. Then I'm going to be rolling up some Medellin. You hear what I'm saying? Got some Medellin. And I got some gelati in the Dutch. Smoking out of Dutch Masters tonight. Killed a couple different joints. RIP. RIP all them joints. We ran through them. What up, John Cooley? Appreciate you tapping in. Definitely appreciate you tapping in, man. You know, we got a live episode for tonight. The Verzuz battle. 50 Cent did not come out. 50 Cent did not come out. Irv Gotti wasn't there either. Irv had made reference or told everybody why he wasn't there. He said Josh said he can handle it by himself. So Irv Gotti didn't feel the need to come. Chris Gotti, however, was there. Definitely epic to see a lot of the Murder Inc. people together. And when I say that, I'm talking about, Lil Mo. I'm talking about how he brought out Ashanti. Obviously, I would have loved to have seen Black Child. You know, Black Child was one of my favorite rappers. Black Child was one of my favorite rappers with Murder Inc. at the time. But yeah, I would have liked to see. That's just personal preference, though. Fat Joe actually called them out. He said, "Where's Black Child? Where's Black Child?" Nah, that was Chris Gotti. You saw Chris Gotti. Chris Gotti was right there on stage. Irv's brother. I believe that's Irv's brother, Chris. Wow, Tasty Love, who I think is a female. Definitely appreciate you tuning in, Tasty Love. Tasty Love said, not to mention, Ja still looks as fresh as he did in the 90s. Well, let's be honest about that. Ja Rule was not known for taking his shirt off back in the day. Ja Rule only started taking his shirt off once he got home from jail. Or, correct me if I'm wrong about that. You know, Ja Rule, I don't think was known. He was known for the bandana. You know, he grew his hair out. He did the bandana. Correct me if I'm wrong, though, but he didn't do the no shirt thing until after he got home from jail. He still Rose in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. He said he's still got abs. Ja Rule obviously came home from jail a lot bigger. You know what I mean? He bulked up in jail and he hasn't lost it because he's been home for a few years now. We got the ladies in here tonight. I want to know, what did y'all think? Who got it? Ja Rule or Fat Joe? I read a poll right after the battle. I thought it was a little bit early when I read this poll, but I read a poll and it was 65 Ja, 35 Joe. Now, I thought that poll was a little bit quick. I thought it was a little bit quick to actually have a result posted. But looking back at the battle now, watching it a second time, I just went before the live. I went back and watched it a second time. I think that is an accurate depiction. I think that's an accurate result. The result obviously is probably a little bit different now, but I hope it hasn't changed much. I hope it has not changed much because I think 65 Rule, 35 Joe, I think that's about accurate, you guys. Okay. Ja came on the scene in it with, yeah, I remember him in that video with he was wearing the red in that video, right? Or was that video just have a red tint to it? Ja came into the thing with his shirt off in the Can I Get a What video. I liked how Ja played it in the beginning. I like how Ja played it in the beginning, coming out with It's Murder, starting off with It's Murder, one of his most popular songs on a street level, then coming up with his song that got you on a industry level, and then he even took it a step further with Holla Holla. That's how he did it, right? It was first he did It's Murder with X and J, then he did Can I Get a What, and then he did Holla Holla. He did one other track I didn't know the name of. It was off the I think it might have been off one of the Murder Inc. soundtracks with Jay-Z, an early cut with Jay-Z. Someone tell me the track. But Sasha Fierce says, but we all should have knew he was going to win. Well, you're talking to someone right here who actually, I chose wrong again, you guys. What can I say? I'm 0-2 on the verses. I chose Dipset, and then I also chose, I'm 0-3. I chose Gucci Mane, and Gucci Mane arguably lost. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not too big to admit when I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Like, if something comes up and changes, you know what I mean? I'm not scared to admit I'm wrong. Like, I thought I was going Gucci Mane, I believe, unless someone brings up a video where I'm like, yo, I'm Jay-Z. I'm with Jay-Z 100%. But nah, I believe I was going Gucci Mane. Jeezy pulled off the victory. But hold on, guys. Let me bring my guy in here. Let me bring my co-host in here so we can get to the bottom of this. SV, Twiz, you ready to rock and
Mikey
roll,
T,
bro?
salute, bro. You already know, Mikey. What's up, bro? Salute to everybody in the chat. What's going on, y'all?
So, yo, just before we get into everything, we're still on the pre-show right now, Twiz. I was just twisting some shit up. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
But Twiz is filling up the vape pen.
you already,
Yep. So,
already know.
Twiz, I think I'm 0-3 right now on these versus battles. If we're talking about the popular ones.
Facts, facts. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with it though. You still had good judgment on it. A lot of people went with Joe, and just from his time frame of doing music, but how I kind of had felt was the quality over the quantity. Not to discredit Joe or nothing, but I knew that the crowd was going to be reacting crazy to certain songs that Ja Rule got.
Yes, you're right, man.
Salute,
When you say,
Sasha Fair. Salute. What's going on with you?
yo, the ladies are in here tonight. I asked who won, Ja Rule or Fat Joe, and Charmaine says Jada.
Jada came and shut the show down at the end.
Yeah,
You know,
you know what I mean? That's gonna make it hard for some people to believe that this was the number one verses of all time because they called up Jada, who was in the last verses. You know what I mean?
well, well, that definitely wasn't the number one verses of all time. It was good though, but I wouldn't place it number one.
I would place it above Jeezy and Gucci.
No, I wouldn't place it above Jeezy and Gucci. I wouldn't. Jeezy
I
and Gucci was, cause Jeezy and Gucci was like, all right, it was personal, so it's like
right.
that's what took theirs to a whole nother level. It was real personal stuff going on with Jeezy and Gucci. So for them to even get on stage, it was like them damn near face to face battling after the drama that they went through.
Yeah, I just think that the amount of hits that we saw between them guys, and the amount of time that I invested as a hip hop fan, like I witnessed everything in that, 2.5, 2 hour battle. You know what I mean? I pretty much knew everything aside from Joe's really extremely early shit. You know what I mean? When, you know, like Joe was saying, he was like, Ja Rule was not outside when I released
Yeah,
this.
yeah. Fat Joe was trying to pull out cheat codes doing the whole John, like it was crazy. I ain't never see Joe act like that.
I don't know, just a part of me really enjoyed this battle, and it showed me how much further, these versus battle are gonna go, man. Like there's
Yeah,
no end in sight for this shit, Twiz.
That's a fact. That's a fact. You know, the verses take things to a whole nother level, man, and it's well appreciated to the hip hop culture. Like,
Yep. You see right here, Bobby Alexander says, after Gucci and Jeezy, I was Googling stuff for 2 days. It
yeah,
was deep.
Jeezy and Gucci, they got like a real crazy history that pretty much no rappers really got. It's probably a handful of them that went through similar situations, but like Jeezy and Gucci, man, it was like crazy, man, crazy, crazy.
Yeah, actually, with this one, you see that had my man Bobby Googling stuff for days, just looking for different insight into it. After this, like I said, it's like sky's the limit. You know what I mean? They could really do anything they want after this battle. And they've got me sold. I would go to a versus concert. I would like to go
Facts.
there and personally see it. I'm fully invested now as a fan. And somebody in the chat, before we get started today, Twist, somebody in the chat actually said, Yo Gotti versus Boosie. But what do you think about the idea of Yo Gotti versus Rick Ross?
Yeah, that would be good. Gotti and Ross would definitely be good. Um, Gotti talked that trap stuff, but you know, Rick Ross got hits for days.
So doesn't Gotti. Don't discount Gotti's hits, man. Rake it
Yeah,
up.
but he but he don't got more than Rick Ross though.
Oh, we'll see, man. I think that should be the verse, man. I think that should be the next versus Rick Ross
uh,
versus Yo Gotti, man, because I don't think Boosie could really stand up with Gotti, man.
yeah, Boosie, like I was never a big Boosie fan music wise. I like him as a person though. I like, you know, the principles he stand on, how he carry himself. He definitely sturdy. But it's a handful of songs I really listen to from Boosie. You know, not to discredit him or nothing, but
Sasha says definitely wasn't number one. You're right, Sasha.
yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and put it at number two. And I said that to Ab as well because I can't really give it number one because of the fact that we know they ended it out by bringing in Jadakiss, who is pretty much the uncrowned king of verses at this point. All I'm saying is, even though Ja Rule walked Fat Joe, he doesn't want it with Jada.
yeah, definitely.
Vetaloop says Fat Joe threw me off how his attitude was last night. Real cocky. I didn't like that. Ja was Ja, his humble self. Um, Did it throw you off last night about how Fat Joe's attitude was a little bit cocky and then a little bit like, what is this crap?
It ain't throw me off for two reasons. The two reasons is we heard how Joe was talking before the verses, first and foremost. And when I saw him doing that, I felt as though he thought that he can control Ja, how Kiss was controlling Dipset. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. I feel like he was trying to take that approach because the Locks versus Dipset was such a big thing, and we saw how Kiss was carrying it. So I felt as though he thought that he could do the same thing.
Rockstar 860, appreciate you for tapping in. He said, Little Kim, the next verses. After seeing this, verses, because the Gucci and the Young Jeezy one got a little bit crazy. But after seeing this one where the guys were actually friendly, almost, putting their arms on each other, smiling with one another, performing with each other subtly, not as much as Method Man and Red. But do you think like a Nicki Minaj could have watched this and said, hey, now I can do that against Little Kim?
Um, I'm pretty sure Nicki Minaj is open up to a verse as long as they get the bag right. But you know, her and Lil Kim would definitely be good. But you know, it's a 50-50. People grow, they mature more, so you know it would be good for them two to squash what they had in the past because you know it would be something official if they could, you know, work together. Salute the real prophecy. You already know. Much love and respect. Shout out to Jersey all day.
We
We right
definitely
across the
appreciate
bridge.
We definitely appreciate everybody tapping in. You know, we're just actually about to start getting into the show. We're just kicking it right now. I'm with the homie, the hood blogger, SV Twiz. You already know who
Yes,
I
sir.
am, Mikey T, the movie star. That's another topic we're going to be talking about 50 versus game or tip. We're going to be talking about T.I. tonight, Twiz. We're going to be talking about how T.I. seems to want a battle with 50, J, or Diddy. He seems to want to battle with a head honcho, but he turned down a battle with Busta Rhymes, which I don't really understand because both T.I., we're going to get more into it later, possibly, or we could talk about it right now. But T.I. wants to say about a time situation, a timing. Yo, we're not from the same era. That's not what I'm talking about. I don't care about the
Facts.
time and the era. I'm talking about the quality of the hits. And those two men have
Facts.
different style of hits that could match up against each other. Why would T.I. turn down that battle?
Cause Buster smoked Ti for one, and I don't even know. Like I can see Ti verse 50. I can't see Ti verse none of the other names that was mentioned. It's like that's a handicap match.
Right. But he could possibly compete with 50 Cent just a little bit.
Facts,
Hustler's
just a little bit.
ambition.
Facts, facts.
Damn. Appreciate everybody tapping in tonight. We're about to get started with the show. Just getting started with this subtopic right now of T.I. seemingly calling out 50 Cent after denying a battle with Busta Rhymes. Twiz says that Busta would simply wash. He'd simply wash T.I. I mean, this weekend at the VMAs, we didn't really talk about it. We talked about some of the more crazy stuff that happened at the VMAs, Twiz. But at the VMAs,
Mhm.
they actually honored Busta Rhymes. You know what I'm saying? Some put your hands, you know what I mean?
On top of Buster music, he one of the greatest performers on stage of all time. You talking about getting the crowd hype? I put him in the brackets with the Wu Tang, the Method Mans and all that. He lift the energy up, in his shows. He's a beast.
Yeah, a lot
Facts,
of people seem to agree with you, Twiz. And
facts.
but you know what, man? Maybe because of the fact that Ti would have had an easier victory over a 50 Cent, but I don't think you should turn down a versus battle when it's something that could really be epic or even beautiful for the culture. I mean, these both of these guys, like my man right here says, Tyson says, Busta has a 30-year catalog. Ti has quite the catalog himself, Twiz.
Not nowhere near Buster's though.
Oh, I see who
yeah,
you're riding with. I see who
yeah,
you're riding with.
yeah. Not nowhere near Buster's. Buster in a whole different galaxy.
Rockstar 860, major salute to you, bro. He says you're acting like 50 didn't make the Power theme song. That song has been playing for 7 years.
But
Twiz,
that
can you
song,
address that?
the song is trash. The series is cool. Who riding around listening to the Power series song? The show was official. We ain't going to trip on that. But come on, that's not even a song that's even mentioned in the dialogue. He gonna play that song, and people gonna start thinking about Tyreek and Ghost. You know what I mean? That song ain't nothing major.
Oh man, we actually mentioned this guy. We actually mentioned this guy and he starts hating. So you know what I mean? Sometimes people don't know how to react to dope bloggers giving them some love. But we're about to be joined by our guy, Spill ENT's own,
You
Chronic
know what it is.
Conversations own,
Salute,
the
What
salute,
up, my
honor,
G's?
honorable.
honor, Boer. You already know Logan finest.
Twins, what up, my G?
What's up,
Mikey
Rosewood?
T,
I
what up, my
can't
guy?
complain. Another day.
Right, right. Facts, man. What's
Yo,
good with y'all
yo,
guys, man?
we are here. It is the hip hop panel, you guys. The hip hop panel is back.
Yes,
Rosewood, I
sir.
appreciate you for joining us. Twiz,
Always.
I definitely appreciate you for joining us tonight.
You
We had to
already
jump on here. We had to jump on here to talk about the Verzuz battle that literally just took place last night. I think tickets went on sale like September 7th, if I'm not mistaken. We were on here. So the tickets went on sale. It looked like a great turnout. Personally, I wish I was there, man. This, I'm going a little crazy about it, but this was really one of my personal favorite memories in hip hop so far, watching these titans clash. You know what I mean? It's not only a group, you guys. Last time it was a group. It was the Locks, Dipset. This time it was two titans who we've literally gone out and bought their albums, like Ja Rule said, for 6 or 7 summers. So Twiz, kick it off for me, bro. Did the battle live up to the hype?
It lived up to the hype. I say it lived up to the hype. It was a couple surprise guest appearances that was definitely good. Fat Joe, tried to pull a couple rabbits out the hat. He threw a couple of low blows. He tried to cheat code a few times. Threw a couple songs in there and we're gonna get into that. But he 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 was hitting the cheat code, bro, putting up songs that he didn't even do. I don't care if you signed the artist, if you put somebody on, if you didn't ghostwrite that song for them, it shouldn't be able to be played in the verses, bro.
The man was on the hook, Twiz. We're gonna get
No,
into it though. We're gonna get into it, man. I hear you were letting off right there. I mean,
definitely.
you already won. You already won, bro. You predicted it. Rosewood, personally, right now, I'm 0-3 on these versus battles, bro. How were you feeling watching this thing back?
Man, I said this is one of the best ones right here. Performance-wise, the performance was on a whole nother level. Even Fat Joe, it was a little calmer. Ja Rule brought the energy. When they
Facts.
was coming for the intermission, I didn't expect that. I'm expecting the show go on. I'm like, Ja, I'm like, oh, we get an intermission? No, let this shit run. But people got the things to do. I guess Fat Joe had like a clothing sponsor or whoever, he's doing stuff. Want to get that out there, so
it's not
yeah,
Fat Joe's fault that he's
Fat,
got somebody that wants him to change his clothes.
Fat Joe came out with the
Ja Rule's like, yo, I'm wearing the same clothes. Fat Joe's like, bro, this is 2021. I get paid to change my clothes.
But Ja Rule shows you at the end, he get paid to take his shirt off. Like,
yeah,
that's what I think Ja Rule wanted to do.
I'm surprised Ja Rule ain't bust the headband out on him.
Yep.
Facts. I thought he was gonna bring the bandana out. The Holla
bandana, real rap.
Yeah, yo, but when Ja Rule took off his shirt, y'all heard Fat Joe go, oh, here he goes. Oh, it was time. He was like waiting for it to happen. Somebody in the chat told me that Ja Rule's been taking off his shirt since when he first came out with "Can I Get a Whoa?"
Yeah, he did.
But
he like my fault, Rosewood. No, you go. What was you saying?
I would say, when he first came out, he was compared to DMX and like a new Tupac. So Ja Rule kind of embraced that. A lot of artists kind of really crash and burn with the Tupac comparison, but Ja Rule kind of embraced that and ran with it. Looked at what Pac did and tried to make it his own. Craft his own style with it.
And he differentiated himself. He was compared a lot because of those tattoos that he had on his back and on his chest and shit like that. You're right. So let's talk about how this thing got started. Fat Joe was the first one brought out. He jumped on there. He said, Queens, we got love for you, but it's on tonight. Joe is from BX, so he came out showing love, you guys. He let Queens know it's on tonight, but it's on. We got love for you, Queens, but it's on. And then he said, Fat Joe also said he's going to learn tonight. He said Ja Rule is going to learn tonight. Twiz, do you think that Fat Joe was overlooking Ja Rule heading into this versus?
I think so. I think, like I said before, I think he feels like the quantity of music that he had as far as time frames was going to outwalk Ja Rule's short career, but the short career that Ja Rule had, his quality of music, everybody was tuned into it. Like, you know what I mean? You can just tell from the crowd reactions when Ja Rule would do certain songs. You really hear people out there screaming, and Fat Joe was in his URL bag, like, come on, this is hot, this is fire, y'all.
He
Y'all remember
kept
this song?
saying he's gonna learn tonight. I'm like, Joe, what is he gonna learn tonight? Like what?
I asked the same thing. I was like, what is he gonna learn? This man's making hits, you know. And
He go
Ja
only
Rule cut the pace up,
yeah,
But I think Fat Joe, he kind of underestimated the situation. I don't think underestimated Ja Rule, but the way
appreciate it,
people
Mike.
were going to feel, because they were hitting different. The Ja Rule hits, they were hitting different. And it's
Facts,
like, I'm like,
Like you
man, these
said, like
jokers hit.
classics, Rosewood. They were hitting like
Yeah,
classics. And
facts.
so to get things started when Ja Rule was brought out, now you guys got to remember how Ja Rule came out because Fat Joe came out, he said, Love the Queens, you know what I mean? But it's on tonight. Ja Rule came out to the entrance music and everything. It's a murder, you know what I mean? Ja Rule
Right,
came out, jumping all over the
right.
stage. Fat Joe's like,
Ja,
what the hell's going on here?
facts. Ja
Yo,
Rule
That,
came
stop
out.
listen,
this. He's like, did the
Ja,
battle start already? Like, come
ja
on.
Rule,
right. I thought it did.
ja, Ja Rule came out like The Rock on SmackDown. Like he put
Facts,
WWF girlfriend.
facts, facts. He came out ready. He came out ready. I thought it started. I did think it started. But that
Well,
was a
Right.
good tactical Ja Rule's part.
he
Because if
got
he
It
wasn't
people
going,
was.
hype, right?
It
He
he
was.
was
came
like
out to
the
like a little
ultimate
intro.
warrior, Twiz. He was more
Yep.
like the ultimate warrior. You know what I mean? Coming out shaking the ropes and shit.
Real rap.
But
Stepping
but
on the turnbuckle.
Rosewood, you got your wish, man. You got your wish, Rosewood. Fat Joe set it off with Flow Joe. I
He
thought that
did.
was a heavy start right
Yeah.
there. You know, but I
When he had the fatigue on, he had the army jacket on, so I kind of knew where he was going.
but so what'd you think about him coming out, starting it off with Flojo, man? He actually he dropped, I think he actually said right before this, he said when this record dropped, people like Supreme McGriff were rocking to it, a direct shot at Ja Rule. So when this record drops in 1993, people like Supreme McGriff are out there rocking to it. And he said, we dropped this before Ja Rule was outside. And I have a bone to pick with that. But first, Rosewood, I want to get your take on Fat Joe setting it off with Flow Joe.
Yeah, almost had to. That was his first career smash. That was his first career smash. And if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that went platinum as a single. And that really started Fat Joe's career off as being a mainstream solo artist in the industry. Before that, he was just linked to DITC. But now it's like, he had to play that. He had to play that for New York. He had to. You got to play it for New York, yo. You got to. So he
Now,
started off great.
the only bone I have to pick with that is that, and I'm going to get Twiz's response with Ja Rule's follow up in just a second. But my only bone to pick with that is that when Fat Joe said that Ja Rule wasn't outside when they released Flojo, Ja Rule had already signed with TVT that same year. So I don't understand, where Fat Joe's history is with all of that. Did you want to touch on that whatsoever? Or do you just want to move on, Twiz?
Yeah, it's kind of tricky because when he say he wasn't outside, do he mean like in the music industry? Do he mean like you wasn't out moving around? Period. It could have meant a numerous different, outlets, but I just feel like he was trying to, hit him with the Jada kiss. That's like a Jada kiss tactic right there. You know what I
A little
mean?
shot. Just a little
Yeah, a
you
little
ain't
shot.
outside shot.
Yeah, a little belittle real quick. You know what I mean?
So Fat Joe sets things off with Flow Joe, which I think was awesome. You know what I mean? Although I wanted him to do is all I do is win. I thought that would have been the perfect entrance music to get this thing started. But Flow Joe was a good second. Ja Rule comes back with It's Murder. You know, he says RIP to DMX, RIP to DMX, one of the greatest to ever do it. And this
Hmm.
is from his first album, Veni Vidi Vici, with Jay-Z as well. I think It's Murder was pretty much the only record or a perfect record, I should say, to top Flojo in the first.
That was a good record. You know what I mean? It was definitely a good record to top it. You know what I mean? He just had to bring out the Murder Inc. energy, from the rip. So, that was definitely a good job.
So I think he definitely topped him with that. You know, that was one of the
Yeah,
first records. Um, that was one of the first records. Rosewood, try to get a little bit more light, brother. That was one of the first records that Ja Rule became known for. That was one of the first entities. Ja Rule became known for being associated with Jay-Z and DMX. So I think
facts,
for him to start right there was also perfect, like for timing because we know what his
facts,
next joint was going to be.
facts. He took it to the roots.
Yep, he took it back to the roots. I saw our guy Tyson Garcia. He was watching the versus battle as well.
Yeah. So he meant in the streets. Yeah. So, you can't really call that because if he wasn't signed, he probably, I don't know Ja Rule's story before he was a rapper, but, it's just the shot thrown.
Now let me get Rosewood's take on that real quick before we move on. So Fat Joe does Flow Joe, and I think really the only way that Ja Rule countered that, and it was such a perfect way, was It's Murder, bro. I think he countered him and won that spar.
Definitely, definitely. When he came out with that, and if anybody paid attention, Ja Rule, he threw a little jab at Fat Joe. He said the three greatest and the three best in New York on one song or something like that. And
Facts,
Jay-Z says it. It's the three illest like that. I'm like, oh, perfect. I'm like, oh,
facts,
this we in for a treat tonight. So Ja
facts,
Rule countered perfectly, perfectly, perfectly. Timing was on point. I give Ja Rule that. The song placement and the timing, Ja Rule had that point blank period. I do
Can I
agree with you,
say
Mikey T. All
what?
I do is win. He could have came out with that first.
But you
But
know what? They kept it street. I respect that. They kept it street for their first round. Ja Rule came, excuse me, Fat Joe came back with his second album record called My Lifestyle. He's like, my life's legendary. If I wrote it down in a book, it would be very scary. Um, but y'all want to live my lifestyle, but you never seen a brick, never seen a crack house. You know what I mean? Uh, he was basically trying to show what type of an artist he was in comparison to Ja Rule at this point. That was featured on the Jealous One Still Envy album. Uh, so I thought it was an interesting way for him to come at him. But Ja Rule again topped him. Ja Rule came back like it's getting spicy in here. We in the
yeah,
jungle. We in the garden, New York City. They want to hear these hits. That's a point that Ja Rule kept on solidifying. And then he played Can I Get a? But both artists were really following their catalog. But Ja Rule's music at this point, I think in the first four records is really outweighing Fat Joe's. What's your thoughts, Rosewood?
it definitely did. Ja Rule came with that pressure, heavy and early in the game. So whatever moves Fat Joe thought he was going to do, Ja Rule was already prepared for that joint. Like I said, the placement of the songs and the songs that he played at the times he played them was so key to this. We know Ja Rule was going to bring the performance. We just wanted to know when he was going to bring the songs and guest artists out that he's going to be performing with. So it was definitely perfect. Ja Rule did it perfectly, man. Fat Joe did what his best, and he played all the songs with his catalog. It's just you couldn't match that energy, the performance energy, of Ja Rule.
facts.
he almost made it into like his own show, for real, for real. So
Quiz, do you want to elaborate on that before I ask you the next question?
Yeah, definitely. I agree. First, I gotta say salute, Rashawn. We see you in the chat. Much love and respect. You know what I'm talking about. But
We got
yeah,
200
man.
people in here right now. 200 people in here watching us live. Everybody be sure to share this video. It's Mikey T, the movie star. We got the hood blogger, SV Twiz, and my guy, Spill ENT's own Rosewood. That's right. Philly, Connecticut is in the building. But Twiz, back on you, my brother.
Definitely, man. I 100% agree with Honorable Irv, man. Like Rosewood hit it pretty much on the nose. Like, you know, it ain't nothing else to it right there. You know what I'm talking about? So that was 100% right there.
Well, Twiz, Fat Joe said they hype because that's a Jay-Z feature. Do you agree with that whatsoever? Jay-Z coming in, they're hype. I'm going to say this on Can I Get A? You would wait until the end of the track to hear Ja Rule's verse. If you look at what's going on in hip-hop for the last 30 years, it's all about the placement of a track. Sometimes on a radio station, somebody's record, your verse will get cut off. You'll never hear somebody's verse.
That's a fact.
They play the whole shit.
And just and to elaborate on what you said, Mikey, that's like if Eminem do a verses and he play Renegade and they say that's a feature. It don't matter. He smoked that feature. And you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it was a good song. Like you said, Mikey, that was a song you play all the way through. Ja Rule added the energy to that song that needed to be. Jermaine Dupri and Hove, Money in the Thing, it can go on either side. You know what I'm talking about? Certain songs, the energy, it don't matter if it's a feature or not.
True.
So guys, up next, it got a little bit crazy when Fat Joe did some of his street records. And I just want to say, it was pretty clear that Fat Joe had more mixtape, or I don't want to say mixtape, but more street material. He had better street material than Ja Rule, even playing his record with Big L. You know, Ja Rule said, how many people's beats are you going to use? Fat Joe was doing his Digging in the Crates record feature with Big L. And like I said, Fat Joe clearly had Ja beat on the underground material. But Ja kept saying, I thought we were doing hits. Fat Joe said, before you step into some shit, he's like, I'm always getting Ja Rule out of some shit. Because Ja Rule wasn't showing any respect to Big L, you know? Later on,
weird right there. That's weird.
Later on, Ja Rule came on the stage and said, yo, rest in peace to Big Pun. But after he was done with the Big L feature, you know what I'm saying? He didn't come on the stage and say rest in peace to Big L. You know what I mean? He came on the stage taking some shots. That was just something that I wanted to bring up. You know what I mean? The fact that he didn't really show any respect to Big L could have been a little bit misplaced.
New York. Yeah, and I just think, for one, when that song come on, you know what that beat is, and Big L was talking in the beginning. So at first, even if Ja Rule was caught up in the moment, if he would have came back and said, yeah, R.I.P. Big L, you gotta respect that right there. And I think Fat Joe should have played that song a little bit more earlier too. I think it should have came earlier in the show.
He got out of order at that point. He got a little bit out of order potentially at that point. And then so Ja Rule, like I said, Fat Joe got him on those underground records, Twiz. But Ja Rule came back with Holla Holla finally. So he follows up with Holla Holla, and I really think the timing of this record couldn't have been any more perfect. You know what I mean?
Facts. That's a fact, Mikey.
Facts.
But of course, Fat Joe came back and said all this murder talk, and we haven't seen one bust, and we haven't seen him bust one. Fat Joe said, Ja, I'm not gonna lie.
I ain't seen you bust one either.
He said,
Facts.
Ja, I'm not gonna lie. You got cute songs. The difference is my bitch hit different. And out came Remy. How was that introduction for Remy, Twiz?
It was crazy. I had Poos like his bitch. Who was he talking? Nigga, that's my bitch.
Good
I'm
one.
like, oh,
My
he took it
bitch,
there, bro.
bit different.
Pat Poos like he didn't even call me out on the verses or nothing. I'm not even. You know what I'm saying that was a. I mean, that John caught me off guard. I'm like, oh, I knew he was gonna bring Remy out though. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
I knew he was gonna bring Remy out.
yeah. I like how he brought Remy out and she did Pun's verse. I like that right there. The
Yeah,
introduction was on point.
Yeah,
Definitely was on
Rosewood.
definitely.
point. They did that right.
I was gonna ask
He
you, Rosewood, what did you think, Rosewood, what did you think of Fat Joe's use of Remy Ma? He brought her out to showcase her bars, even going a cappella, and and for the hits, of course, all the way up, lean back. And then she
Mm-hmm.
even she even said it's still a 187 on Joe's good friend Ja.
facts.
Mm-hmm. I like the improvisation right there. Remy Ma is definitely kind of like a, it was expected, but it was like a cheat code at the same time
It
because she does know
was
how to handle herself in that arena, and
real
she's
right.
like, it's like she's built for that tension, that drama on the stage, and she's with the shits.
What
So she definitely held her weight, bringing up the bringing up her
she
end, but the
she did.
introduction was.
Yeah, she definitely did. I didn't mean to cut you off, Rosewood. I was just saying. I feel like he brought her out too many times though. Like, god damn, one time is enough. He could have brought her out one time if they did like one or two songs, and then it's like, damn, she coming back out again. Like, come on, bro.
Well, Twiz, let
Yeah,
me
they was
ask you, man. Ja Rule said, Ja Rule, man, this guy was on one last night. He couldn't be stopped. Ja Rule said, the fact that Remy had to save you, I'm going to keep that between me and you. Busting into his hit single Between Me and You.
Facts,
So what do you think, man?
facts.
Was Ja Rule's performance on point last night, Twiz?
He was strategic. I feel like Ja Rule prepared more music wise, and Fat Joe prepared more angle wise. Like Fat Joe had more angles. You know what I mean? Where he threw certain shots and did certain things that you could tell that he was focused on. That he thought the crowd would go crazy on. A few of the acts that he did that night. But Ja Rule was pretty much prepared. You can tell he already knew he was going to say that.
Yeah, man, I feel you on that. I feel like Fat Joe was like, yo, if I can keep it music and beat him, I will. But if I got to pull out these side tricks, if I got to pull this trick out my Versace sleeve, you know what I mean? I can do that. And Ja Rule said, I was at people's junior high, in their high school, in their college. I was in all of their memories for 6 summers. And then Fat Joe replied, he's like, that's what I'm saying. Where have you been? Before performing his hit record all the way up. We didn't get No French Montana, but Twiz, how did you feel? How did you feel about Fat Joe responding to Between Me and You, which is one of the mega hits from Ja with All the Way Up? He sort of tamed that beast a little bit.
All the way up was super. It was energy. He got he that was probably one of his biggest crowd reaction songs. But I feel like it was like Jim Jones with Ballin'. That like lean back and all the way up is two songs that everybody was waiting on. Like it's gonna come any minute now. You know what I mean? So it wasn't a surprise. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
that's
You just
how I
got to
feel.
use them. You got to use them at the right time, is what it is as well.
Facts. Facts.
And Rosewood, I got to ask you, is French Montana not showing up kind of like J Lo not showing up?
Oh no, no, no.
Fact.
And it's crazy because J Lo, J Lo would be hard because she's international. But French
Fact.
Montana, the BX connection, I figured he would have been there. I thought he was gonna come out on all the way up. For him not to come
Yo,
out being in New York, that was a little weird right there. I thought he was gonna be there, especially like I said, the Bronx connection. The
y'all want
Chauvel to your Barrow. My
Facts.
bad, Twitter.
Facts. No, no, that's my fault. But y'all want to know what make it more crazy? Like Rosewood said, the BX connection and all of that, bro. But Montana showed up for Soldier Boy.
Maybe he didn't make the call.
I can't see that. I couldn't see that, man.
That
like
had
I
to
said,
be
it's
one of
the
the first calls.
connection. Yeah, you got all the way up, and we from the same borough. Gotta be there.
True.
Now, Ja Rule came back after this. At this point, we really got loaded right now, yo. Between me and you, all the way up. Ja Rule came back, and then Ja Rule came back. He said, "I did this by myself." And then Fat Joe yelled out, he's like, "Everybody sings your hooks." And Ja was like, "I'm out here by myself." He clarified it. And then
he said I wrote these songs.
What'd you say, Rosewood?
Ja was saying I wrote these songs. He said even Ashanti's hooks. Ja gave us some knowledge. He said I wrote these joints. He said I ain't know exactly how to produce it.
The Mary J. Blige shit. But Ja Rule followed up all the way up, I think, perfectly, you guys, with Living It Up, a major hit. Twiz, I want to ask you about Ja Rule's statement before this, though. I'm going to ask you about it too, Rosewood. Ja Rule said that he made hits. Ja Rule said that Fat Joe made hits before him, Twiz, and he made hits after him, but he has not caught up with him, is the thing. Is this record Living It Up a pure example of that?
Yeah, well, me personally, when I heard Living It Up, I just started thinking of Friday at the Nets. You know what I mean? That joint just came in my head, bro. I mean, real rap. But that joint right there, that wasn't nothing I was going around banging or nothing. But it get the crowd moving. It's good energy with this song. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is.
That was a big record for Rule because it proved that he didn't need a female on the hook, even though they put Case on the hook as well.
True.
Rosewood, what did you think about Ja Rule coming back at all the way up with Living It Up, but then what he got him?
Yeah, because when Ja Rule brought that on, now I can attest that song, like Twiz would say, you wouldn't be playing in the car or nothing. But if it come on the radio in the car, you with a chick, that's a certain energy. And also, if you're in the bar having a drink, for whatever reason, that joint come on. It's a Friday that's got all work. It's like one of those stress reliever songs. So Ja Rule gave you that example, like, man, I got international hits right here. That you could play at a wedding, bar mitzvah. I could perform
Payday.
Guys, excuse me, we got 300 people in the building. Everybody share this video. Let everybody know that this is the hip hop panel. Mikey T, the movie star, SV Twiz in the middle, and my guy Rosewood at the end, Spill ENT. So moving on from there, Fat Joe came back with the Digging in the Crates classic, but he stopped mid-record, and he said, "I made millionaires." He said, "I made millionaires. Remy Ma, Cool and Dre, DJ Khaled is the richest." He said all this. He said all of them got mansions before putting on the big pun record, Still Not a Player. So in saying this, coming right out of Living It Up, Rosewood, how did you feel about him playing Still Not a Player, considering he's only on the hook?
He had to fit. Well, he did fit Big Pun in with Remy Ma saying singing Big Pun's verse.
But it also him bringing that statement because he made stars out of all these people: Pun, Cool and Dre, DJ Khaled, Remy. It goes with his statement, I think.
True, but a lot of they say he got pun rhyme book, so it's like, I mean, is these pun rhymes or your rhymes? So what the newer raps always say is it pun rhymes or his rhymes? We'll never know. But at the same token, I just think the timing was off with that song. You know, Fat Joe used it as a spade, but Ja Rule had a bigger spade than that. So it was good. The energy was good. I think the timing was just off with it. You know,
Rosewood, I think it was a good counter to living it up. It kept Fat Joe in the mix. You know, that was
it just
Ja
wasn't
Rule's
enough.
Ja Rule's big qualm about this record was that it wasn't his. Fat Joe is on the hook, as I said, but Ja Rule can say he wrote all the hooks. Twiz, I know you wanted to dig into this a little bit. What's your thoughts on him using "Still Not a Player"?
It didn't shock me that he used it. You know what I mean? Salute to Joe, man. Yeah, I mean,
That
I wonder.
salute to Fat Joe, man.
Real rap. Shout out to everybody in the comments too. Much love and respect. But you know, for the Fat Joe fans and all that, y'all need to know we ain't throwing shade on Joe name. Joe is a legend. You
Pick
know,
Fat Joe to
he
win.
facts,
I pick
facts.
Fat Joe to win.
Facts. He got a legacy and all of that. Nothing take away from that. But this was a versus, a song for song. And at the end of the day, when he played Pun John, you know people was gonna go crazy, bro. That's like playing the X song in the verses. The people gonna go crazy. You know what I mean? Playing the Biggie song, the people gonna go crazy. So I guess he can rock with that as far as him doing the hook, as far as him putting Pun on. But that was one of his most powerful songs, and he wasn't doing the verse on the song. So you know it is what it is.
I think it was strategic, so Twiz, staying right where we are here. Fat Joe said this, and let me ask you, was Ja Rule just mad at this point because, as Fat Joe was saying, he was getting his ass whooped? Me
Yeah.
personally, at this point in the battle, it didn't seem to me like Ja Rule was getting his ass whooped, but Fat Joe kept on insisting that he was going to learn something and that he was getting his ass whooped, Twiz.
Facts. Ja Rule was trying to control the crowd. He thought he could control the crowd by
You mean
talking
Fat
and
Joe?
yeah, I mean, yeah, my fault. Fat Joe thought he was controlling the crowd, trying to control their mental. Like, I'm killing this dude right here. Did y'all hear what I just played? And when his song would drop, you just hear burn, burn. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like the reaction wasn't there when Ja Rule was going when Ja Rule was performing, people was going crazy like Summer Jam back in the day or something like the energy was up. And I think Fat Joe was trying to let the people know, like, do y'all know what song I just played? That song was crazy. Like, so he was trying to persuade the people and trying to bring their energy up towards his songs. That's how I feel.
Mhm.
So from there, Ja Rule came back with another record that he has a couple cool records, that didn't hit off as much as the other ones. Ja Rule came back with Down Ass Bitch. We're gonna get into Down Ass Bitch now. Uh the homie Fat Joe had some things to say about Down Ass Bitch, but everybody in here right now, I want you to follow SV Twiz on Instagram. Everybody that follows SV Twiz on Instagram right now, you'll get the follow back. But
Sure.
so Ja Rule came back with Down Ass Bitch, which I don't think really stood up to Still Not a Player. So it gave Fat Joe a chance to come up in the next round. What do you think,
Mhm.
Rosewood?
No, definitely. I like that. I like that analogy right there because it really didn't stand up. You know, it's like all right, and that's why I'm in hindsight. I'm looking back. That was a good play by Fat Joe, and like Twiz said, we knew he's gonna play it, so it was good timing because Ja Rule then had nothing really to counter. You know, like how he did with FloJo in the beginning. He really didn't have nothing to counter, or if he did, he had to save it for later. You know, so
Facts.
that was a good move by Fat Joe right there.
Well, speaking of the counter was interesting. You know, so Fat Joe came up after Down Ass Bitch, and he said if that was a hit, it wasn't hitting like that. He like took a direct shot. And as I said, we all know Down Ass Bitch really wasn't hitting like I'm Real. It wasn't hitting like Always on Time or Between Me and You or Put It On Me. It wasn't hitting like that. It was good. I like the joint personally. I'll go back and bang it, but whatever. So Fat Joe goes, Ja was in the house when this one came out too. And this is the record, Ha Ha, with Slow Down with Jeezy, which I don't understand. Ja Rule was in the house. Was Ja Rule locked up at that point or something? Ja Rule was in the house when this one came out. So Fat Joe performed that record, which is it's a memorable Fat Joe joint. But Ja Rule came back and was like, that was crickets. Ja Rule came back and said that was crickets after Joe performed his feature with Young Jeezy. Haha. Do you think, Twiz, do you think Fat Joe was relying too much on these feature records at this point?
Yeah, I think Ja Rule. I mean, I think Fat Joe was he wasn't getting a reaction that he might have deserved for some songs. I strongly do feel that. Not like it ain't like his music was trash. It just was to the point where people, I appreciate it. It just was to the point where like people was like waiting for Ja Rule to go off again, bro. Like I want to go to them 106 in Park days. You know what I'm saying? So it was just real crazy, man. I I kind of felt bad for Joe a little bit, and Joe started trying to fight dirty on the stage. But I know we're gonna get into all of that. But at the
I
end of the
want
day, man,
everybody I want everybody to give Rosewood a follow right now. I got it pinned up. Follow my guy Rosewood. We got 310 people in here right now.
let's
Appreciate
go.
Yeah,
everybody tuning in. So
get it. Get it.
Ja Rule got the his next thing. He's like, I'm gonna bring a special guest out. Ja Rule goes, I'm gonna bring a special guest out. And Joe goes, make sure it's nobody that sings, because that's what you've been doing all night. And then, Ja came back with a line that he repeated several times. Drake's line, you got bodied by a singer. You got bodied by a singer.
Yeah,
And then Ja
Yeah.
brought out Put It On Me. Ja Rule brought out Little Mo for Put It On Me, which in my opinion totally destroyed Ha Ha. So now Ja Rule's going from, what was the record he just put out right before Ha Ha? He did Down Ass Bitch, which but then Ha Ha and then Put It On Me. So Ja Rule at this point is literally beating him in this battle, in
Turned
my
up.
opinion.
Turned
definitely.
up. Turned up at that point. Definitely turned up at that point. Cause he was Ja Rule. It was like he was waiting. He's waiting for that. He was waiting. He's waiting for that moment. He was
And
ready, man.
and something I want to throw in. You want to know what separated Ja Rule from Fat Joe as a career? If you look at Fat Joe in his early career, mid 2000s, he was always rapping and keeping up with the era that was in. What Ja Rule
True.
did music wise, he was singing when people was making fun of it. On top of him having the raspy deep type voice he got, we talking about no auto tune, none of that. I'm talking about like he just giving it raw on the joint, and it was rolling. Now you look at it nowadays and everybody is singing. They harmonizing on hooks. They be the gangsters, toughest guys in the world, and they on hooks singing. So I feel like Rule was ahead of his time. Like, he created a wave when we didn't even realize what he was doing.
So Fat Joe then took some shots at Little Mo and Vita, I believe, saying that Ja Rule has got to feed them. Saying that his bitches are rich, like Remy taking that shot at Rule, about how Rule kind of saying that Rule kind of left them high and dry while he was popping, whereas Fat Joe assisted his people in getting them rich. And we're going to tap into that a little bit later, you guys, because Little Mo and Remy are going back and forth about that very concept right now. So, Rosewood, what did you think when Fat Joe said that? I mean, a lot of people probably take it as a joke, but Ja Rule came back on a few moments later and it's like, yo,
Yeah.
man, I didn't expect you to treat the women like that.
Facts. That was kind of out of pocket. I think he was using it as a tactic, and it kind of backfired. That was
Yo,
he was trying to, trying to be like how when I think they knocked Joel's headband bandana off, like something like that. He was trying to take it like that, but it just backfired. That was
You
a
need
bad
a
error
little
right
more
there.
dusty.
Yeah, that was a bad. And then when it came out, I'm like, he kind of repeated it. He like, oh yeah, you need to beat them. I'm like, are you
Yep.
insinuating it, bro?
Yep.
Like Twitter said, I think he had to resort to dirty tactics.
facts.
It's like John hit me with these hits, man. I
Oh
got
my
distracted
God.
crowd from these hits.
And you guys know it. Ja Rule had to do it. Ja Rule had to do it, you guys. Just like Rosewood got his Flow, his Flow Joe record. Ja Rule had to come back and say, be respectful to the ladies, crack. And he did Thug Lovin'. Thank God. Thank God Bobby Brown didn't come out there.
I thought he was. He gave him a shout out. I thought he was, though. I'm like, Bobby about to come out
Real
spinning on
rap.
you, huh?
Real rap.
Ja Rule said, this is one of my light ones. Very light, Ja.
Mhm.
Apparently it was not as light as Caught Up with Lloyd, though. What do you think? What do you think about that? I guess this one is a little bit better than Caught Up with Lloyd.
It was. They both kind of on the same level. But I remember when when the Thug Love joint came out with Joe Bobby Brown, when he dropped that, that's when Murder Inc. was coming back. I think that's when they won their Fed case and all that.
It was
So they're
lit.
coming back. I think that's when they signed Nas and all that.
That was
So
their
I
first.
remember when that joint did hit, but it did hit like that.
That was their first big single after Pain Is Love. But I gave that round to Ja Rule because Fat Joe came back with a record that I don't even really know. If anybody could tell me the record that Fat Joe came back at against Thug Love, Fat Joe was doing all these records. You would have to like look up the name for the title, like the Fat Joe and
Real
Big L
rap.
record and shit.
Real rap.
Yeah, Ja
He
Rule
was
songs. You knew the name. You knew the name of
yeah,
that song.
facts.
Or if you misplaced the name, you at least knew the hook and called it by, you know what I mean?
Right,
Like
right.
what would I be without you or whatever you
True.
would call the song. But
No,
Ja kept on going on, Twiz. He said, you got bodied by a singer. And then Joe went, nah, that was a different guy. Fat Joe was alluding to the beef with Meek Mill and Drake when he said that, right, Twiz?
True. That's how I take it. You know what I mean? I guess he was
but
trying to
I took it
say,
as John saying right now. I think John was saying like, well, right now on this stage, you getting bodied by a rapper slash singer. And Ja
facts,
Rule said I was the first one to do this rapping slash singing shit. I'm glad he
facts, and
said
that
that.
facts. That was a fact. Him and T Pain deserve a lot of props.
They definitely do. They
T
definitely
Pain with
do.
the auto tunes and him with the singing on the hooks.
So
Yep.
when Fat Joe finally got into the record every day, all we do is win. Ja Rule came back. That's not your song either. You know what I mean? Very simply. So Joe at this point goes, it's time for intermission. Fat Joe needed the change. Apparently, we were going to get a round two. Ja goes, I told you I was going to sweat him out. Fat Joe dissed Ja Rule, and he shows that he dissed Ja shoes. He started going in on his shoes, and Ja was like, "Yo, those are ball mains, man." He's like, "Those are ball mains." And then Fat Joe was like, "Roller skate over here, Ja. Roller skate on over here." Both these guys were just bidding on each other, man. Fat Joe also said the people knows yesterday's hits are not today's hits. And Ja said, I like the little things that he's saying about yesterday's hits. He said, but yesterday's hits are called classics, timeless
Yeah.
classics.
He
And
fucked him
then
up with that.
Ja
True.
even had all the people in the crowd cheering timeless classics, Rosewood.
Yeah. he fucked Joe over with that when he said the
Yeah,
classics, because that's what he was giving us. He really was giving
true.
us classics. And man, he hitting us with that shit. So when the intermission came, it's like, hold on, what we stopping for? Let's keep this party going for real, for real. Ain't nobody trying to chill. It's
Facts.
turned up right now.
Twiz,
So I ain't like the intermission.
did you watch the intermission? Did either of you guys watch the intermissions?
I
I didn't.
watched it. I
I did.
watched it. I
What
watched
they
it.
have going on?
It was fugazi a little bit. I mean, they had people coming out entertaining the crowd and all of that, and they was playing music. It was like a promo joint. They played a new Remy song. They was
Yeah.
talking. They was playing like other artists' songs and things of that nature. And I feel like at the end of the day, Joe probably went to the back and got coached or something real quick, bro. Like, yo, when you come out here and do this or that, that boy had Floyd Mayweather in the back. Like, bro, when you come out, hit him with one of these. You know what I mean, he's like,
Well,
I got you, bro.
well,
Yeah,
you know
because
what?
the
So round two starts, and as we said, before stealing round one, Fat Joe actually started round one. Before Ja Rule made his grand introduction, as we spoke about earlier. Rewind back if you want to check that out. We got 350 people in the building right now. Myself, Mikey T, the movie star, SV Twiz, the hood blogger, and Rosewood from Spill ENT. We all appreciate everybody tapping in right now. So
Definitely.
the second round started with Ja Rule. And you know what, guys? I'm not going to lie. Ja kind of gave Fat Joe a layup on this one. Ja Rule came back and he performed Crown from Blood in My Eye. He performed Crown. You know what I'm saying? And he stopped it after a little bit and he went on to perform Ain't It Funny, the remix that actually featured Jennifer Lopez and Cadillac Ta. No J-Lo, so Fat Joe came on the stage and says, "Stop it, Ja. J-Lo isn't taking your calls anymore. I tried to tell her to come here for you," Fat Joe said. "I talked to her yesterday," Ja Rule replied. "We're doing a show in Central Park next week." So Ja had a moment to promote his new show. But Twiz,
yeah.
what do you think about Fat Joe throwing it in Ja Rule's face when he performed the Ain't It Funny remix?
I don't know, man. You know what I mean? Another angle, I feel like Joe is probably more active. Not probably, he is more active with like you can just tell from his show and stuff, period, that he reaches out with artists on a regular. He know who doing what and you know who would come out for something. And just to touch up on J Lo coming, bro, like somebody like J Lo, it gotta make sense for her. You gotta give her the right check. She ain't just coming out to show her face. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Right. So you're saying kind of throwing that in his face is like irrelevant because it's like, yo, she's a whole other check, man. Like
Facts.
she's the check when they want to do Beyonce versus Jennifer Lopez, right, Twiz?
Facts.
Definitely, definitely. She on a different level. Like she ain't just gonna pop out, you know what I mean, for the feature on the verses. It gotta make sense.
So, what did you think about Ja Rule kicking it off like that in his second round, Rosewood? Because this is really what we know Ja Rule's career to be. He'll have a street single, and then he'll have the single for the ladies. We saw it on multiple occasions.
Yeah. That definitely was Ja's format. I give him that. He always stuck to the same format. He gave you a so-called street song, and then he gave you I always called it like a radio friendly song. So that was his technique. And I think it was perfect for his verses because he kind of stayed in the mix. You know, when Joe
Yeah,
was playing hood joints, he had Jones to match that. And Ja Rule kind of really set the tempo. So even if he did come with a lackluster song, he always set the tempo again with a hit. And it's like Joe was trying to
exactly.
catch up. Like Tliz said, like trying to bring the crowd to him. You know, the crowd was with Ja Rule. You know, he set
Facts.
it off when he even lackluster songs or whatever, cool. But when the hits came. You know, so if you was looking for Fat Joe, you had to start singing Ja joints too.
Facts.
So at one point, Fat Joe actually performed a record that I like. I dig it. I'm wondering if you guys know this record. It's a joint he did with Dre off of, I believe it was the Family Ties album that he did with one half of Cool and Dre, Fat Joe and Dre, and it was called So Excited. And I was just kind of like, I was kind of wondering how that record fit in. Are you guys familiar with that record so much?
I'm
I
not.
remember the album. I don't know that song, and
Yeah.
I don't know why. So all right, he pulled that one out. So it was a couple misses by. Definitely had a couple misses. Joe had a couple misses, but I will say that one right there, was it bad timing, or did he just have to? That was something he had on his list to perform.
I just think it was a record that didn't really connect. You know what I mean? Like some of his other joints that people actually know. Like I think people know Get It Poppin'. You know what I mean? A little bit more than this. And you know what? This could have been a spot. You know, I know they stayed away from it, Twiz, but this could have been a perfect spot for him to do We Thuggin'. You know what I mean?
Real right.
With R.
Real
Kelly.
right. The Pop Piper feature. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? He could have busted that
yeah,
joint out.
yeah.
So Fat Joe was definitely wrong about this. He said one fan is singing for you, and he took the dollar bus from Queens. So Ja Rule did Rainy Days, and he goes, you know I wrote that, Fat Joe. He says, you know I
Yeah.
wrote that. And
That
then
was
Fat
heavy.
Joe responds, this is big, you guys. Fat Joe responds, you know I produced Candy Shop.
Yeah, he busted
Yeah,
out with that joint.
And Twiz, what did Ja Rule say?
Ja Rule was like, yeah, that joint was trash, bro. You talking about some candy shop, bro. Yeah,
he said that
Rosewood,
man.
shit was trash.
That
why,
yeah, that joint was
Rosewood,
meatball,
why
bro.
would that man brag about Candy Shop?
Real right.
Listen, it's a credit. It's a credit to his name. But Ja, that's when Ja started saying like, "You ain't push no buttons. You executive produced it. You ain't push no
Fact.
buttons." And I'm like, "Damn, Ja's right again." I'm like, "All right, Ja, keep coming back at him." I'm like, "Shh."
And Twiz,
Fact.
let me get your opinion because Scott Storch actually logged on to the Verses, and Scott Storch made a comment and said, okay, I actually did Candy Shop. Joe helped me with the intro. What's your take
Damn.
on that? Me personally, I'm gonna say if Scott Storch, the producer of the track, said that Joe helped with the intro, that means Joe helped with the intro. That means Joe helped produce the record. Twiz, what's your take? Is that more of confirmation or what?
It's confirmation, but Joe only brought it up to Low Bloom just to mention 50. Yeah, I'm talking about it was just the whole 50 Cent part of it. Like the person that
Facts.
crushed your career, I helped produce one of his songs. Let's not forget who I am. So I feel like that was the angle right there.
Rosewood Iceberg said Candy
Yeah.
Shop and Lean Back sound the same.
Yeah, they were similar. They were similar. It was the Scott
And
Storch. The Scott
it was
Storch. You can, if you know, the Scott Storch sound was all around at that time.
Our boy
real
Eric
rap,
agrees
Eric.
with you, Quiz.
Real
Eric,
rap, Eric.
Yeah, appreciate everybody tapping in tonight. Everybody go ahead and share this video. But we are going to bring in the Queen's Connection, the
Uh-oh.
local legend. Bond
my
Simmons
dick.
is in the
Yo,
building.
Uh-oh.
peace, family. Peace, y'all.
My
Salute.
Call my
dick.
tardiness, man. Wifey
It's,
birthday today, man. So we had to do
oh, it's
dinner
all
and
good.
all the
Birthday to you.
shenanigans. You know what I
As you
mean?
should.
Hell
As
yeah.
you
You
should.
know
Definitely.
what I mean? Word. So
All good, Bonds. All good.
Virgo season in full effect, man. Any Virgos
Def,
out there? Tap in.
def.
Virgos. Where you at? Where the Virgos at, man? Big Virgo vibes. But
Yeah,
peace,
hey.
y'all, bro. Peace, y'all. You know what it is.
Salute.
Definitely appreciate you for
You
tapping in
already.
tonight. We got 360 people in the building right now. Bond Simmons
Ooh,
in
that's the full
Canada.
circle. We got a full cipher.
Let's
360.
go.
So,
Right.
so
As soon
here
as you
we
hop
go.
in.
Peace to
So
the
here we
cipher.
go. Fat Joe had actually said to he said to Ja Rule, he's like, yo, I produced Candy Shop. And Scott Storch actually reacted to that and commented on the live stream, Bonds. I'm not sure if you saw that.
I
Pretty
ain't see
sure
that.
you saw the comment, but I'm sure you didn't see what Storch said. Scott Storch said, okay, I actually did Candy Shop. Joe helped me with the intro. Just to start us off, Bonds, what do you think about Scott Storch clarifying that Fat Joe said he actually produced Candy Shop? Kind of a low blow, Twiz was saying, mentioning 50's hit record.
Yeah, exactly. You see, Josh, I don't know if you recall at one point where Fat Joe was like, he was about to say something. He was like, "No, this is around that time." He's like, "Nah, I ain't gonna shit on my brother." And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, so he was ready. He was feeling himself. And then in his defense, Ja Rule was kind of nudging him like to do anything. He was like, you know what I mean? He was pushing him to that like. And he's like, yo, you wild and slow down. Like, you know what I mean? If I had to say something to slow you down, man.
Yeah, Bonds, Fat Joe tried to throw that in his face when Ja Rule was like, yo, I wrote that for Mary J. Blige, referring to Rainy Days. Right. And Joe's like, well, I helped produce Candy Shop. Ja Rule's like, Candy Shop is whack in comparison to Rainy Days. It really is. Like, if we're looking at, Rosewood,
yeah,
Twiz,
it was.
If we're looking at a classic piece of music, but let's not get it twisted, you guys. Candy Shop propelled an album to do 1.1 million records in a week.
The Joan was definitely jumping. It was a sticky song. I'm talking about, like, especially for the females and things of that nature. You know what I mean?
True.
So
Rainy Days. That's a better song, I'll say.
Shit, I'm surprised.
Sure.
I'm surprised Fat Joe didn't. No, I'm just kidding.
But you gotta think Mary J. Blige too is bigger than what he was up with Olivia and 50 or something.
Yeah, that was. I think it was Lil Kim and 50.
Oh, Magic
Stick was Lil Kim and 50.
Yeah, Lil Kim and 50. Magic Stick.
Candy Shop was.
Oh, so he talking about Magic Stick, not Candy Shop.
No, we're talking about Candy Shop.
Oh, my fault. I got them mixed up. My fault. Yeah, the Candy Shop.
I was only thinking that because remember, Little Kim and Scott Storch did wind up having a relationship.
But anyway,
but it was Olivia. It was Olivia on that joint.
Olivia on the Candy Shop. But she can't touch Mary J. Blige though. Come on now.
So Joe came back with another round, which is a hit R&B smash, but Chris Brown didn't end up showing up. That would have been crazy if Chris Brown showed up. Ja Rule performed Clap Back, the record that Rosewood said he should ignore.
I was thinking about Rosewood too. I was like,
yeah.
So
Ja Rule does Clap Back, and I don't know if you guys caught it. I'm not trying to throw any shade at Ja Rule because I love the brother. But they had to remind him at the end to shout out Supreme. Twiz, did you catch that?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, yo, shout out Supreme. And he's like, yo, shout out to Supreme.
Right. He like they caught me.
Remind them, like, yo, remind me.
Yeah.
Ja was caught up
for that.
Remind me if I forget to shout out Supreme. Don't let me get off the stage without.
So, yo, this actually gave Fat Joe an opportunity to come back at him. Now, Fat Joe missed us with the Chris Brown appearance, but he came back heavy, you guys. When he brought out St. Louis's own Nelly. Fat Joe brought out Nelly to perform Get It Poppin'.
Yeah, that was big.
That was very big.
I like that.
Right after Ja Rule did the classic with Little Mo, I Cry. Ja Rule brought out Little Mo for a second time, and they did I Cry. But I got to say, you guys, I have a whole new respect for Fat Joe and the Nelly song. It's definitely less corny than Candy Shop, but I remember I didn't like Get It Poppin' back then at first. But now I got to say, I'm okay with that record. Bonds, you were saying first it was classic when you brought out Nelly?
Yeah, and live it was fire. I don't know why Nelly went on to do Hot in Here. Like I mean
Cheat code. That's what I said.
that was
it was
like
the
what are we doing? Like
that was the cheat
Yeah,
why
code
you
right
gonna
there.
do that? Why you gonna have Hot in Here done in the verses with me? Like chill out. I'm not going.
yeah.
Like,
That was
I'd have pulled the
right.
book
Cheat
on that if
code.
I was Ja Rule. Like man.
Real rap.
Right. Twiz, why do you say cheat code? Because Fat Joe was having a little bit of trouble getting a reaction out of the people, so he had to bring
Facts.
out somebody to perform something that the people would scream.
Facts, man. Like I feel like he was trying to bring energy up on his side. And I just gotta say, man, Nelly don't age, bro. I'm
Nah,
surprised
that's a
he
fact though.
real right.
Facts.
All he needed was the Air Force Ones and a Band-Aid on his face, bro. It would have took us all
Yep.
the way back. You know what I mean? Like,
Nah.
so salute to Nelly. He still came
Nah,
out with good
salute to Nelly,
energy.
my brother out here looking
Yeah.
good, man, in these
Yeah,
streets.
definitely.
Red Hot
He brought
Maybach
the
says
energy.
Nelly. Look
Shout
at
out to
what
my
he
bro.
says. Red Hot Maybach says Nelly was irrelevant because after last night, Nelly is relevant again. Nelly looked great,
Yeah.
man. I gotta say.
But Nelly big. Nelly bring people out though, bro.
He deserved his
Yeah.
own verses.
Nelly he did. Yeah, him and Ludacris went.
Oh, they went, damn.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
What
him
was
and
I
Ludacris
at?
went.
But if those were the records that went off against each other, I'm sorry to say, but I guess I'm giving it to Get It Poppin' over the I Cry with Little Mo. Would you guys disagree with me, Twiz? First you.
Could you repeat that again, Mikey? What you say about the I Cry?
I would say Get It Poppin' with Nelly gets it over I Cry with Ja and Little Mo. I'd say in that sparring, I'd say Ja Rule got it. Fat Joe took the win. Ja Rule got it taken to him.
We could say that. You know what I mean? We could say that.
What do
You
you
know what I
think,
mean?
Rosewood? You were you more into I Cry or Get It Poppin'?
See, Get It Poppin', that was another bar. That was like another bar banger. Like when I said like Ja Rule had like Do I Do like that John, I said it was a bar banger, like a good feeling. That was the same one where I Get It Poppin'. And when I listened to it, I'm like, oh, I remember that song. It took me back. I was like, oh, all right, boom. So it brought the energy back for Fat Joe. So Fat Joe brought that energy back. So for Nelly to do his song Hot in Here, it kind of threw it off. You know, it kind of threw it off. It was a cheat code. He tried to cheat.
Facts.
Nah, but we're gonna get into what Fat Joe did right after this. But Bonds, did you think in that respect, Get It Poppin' or I Cry, which one took it in that particular round?
I mean, I would say the Nelly bringing out the Nelly did take it in the round like the live show, but as far as songs, I do like I Cry better than
right. Ja Rule lost it at the end. If you guys noticed, he was like, because they stopped playing it, and Ja Rule wanted to go with it a little bit more. Because in the Ja Rule's next part of the verse, he starts going, "My love, cause my love, no," and she starts singing with him too. But they didn't really get that part off. So all right, I see Twiz didn't really want to give that one. Twiz is like, "Yo, bro, man, I be listening to I Cry, man, when I be pouring out a little."
Real rap.
Cry, you cry. Yeah, nah, I mess with that song heavy, man. You know,
yeah, it's a good R right there. It's a good R right there. Get it popping on the energy.
Next, we're getting into one of the most popular portions of this verses. You guys got to know where we're going. When they brought out Ashanti, we got those back to back classics, except for Mesmerized, of course. But so let's talk about it.
Ashanti was looking good though, too, man. Oh my God. Yo, Ashanti got better. She getting finer like wine, man. With time, man.
All right, so I'm gonna go through everybody here. Rosewood, I want to know, who do you think utilized Ashanti better? Was it Fat Joe, who I believe said Fat Joe had to beg to get Ashanti to come perform for Ja? Or was it Ja who used Ashanti twice? Who better utilized Ashanti?
Yeah, Joe was fun.
I gotta go with Ja on that Drake. For one, he brought out first, and then Fat Joe did a song right after him. So I gave it to Ja right there. And then The other song, I kind of knew Ja was going to do that with her. She was already out there. And I think that was kind of the scheduled format
It
to have
ruined the
her
surprise.
do all three songs. So it was definitely a good herb. But I'll say, I can kind of say Ja Rule utilized her better because she was with Murder Inc.
Twiz, Ashanti was there. Ashanti was in the building. Did Fat Joe flub up the point of bringing Ashanti out? Did Ja Rule blow his surprise?
I feel like they both knew what they was going to deliver with Ashanti, first and foremost. Just how it was like everything, like Ja went, and then Fat Joe said what he said. Then they went into the song together. So of course Ja Rule utilized it better because the song that Fat Joe used Ashanti on, Ja Rule was on the John too singing.
True.
So it's like,
Yeah.
bro, you counting me in on that song. So you giving me 3 points. Real rap, bro.
Now, Buns,
Yo,
the song order. Ja Rule brought Ashanti out for Mesmerized, which was featured on The Last Temptation. Fat Joe grabbed Ashanti over to do What's Love. And then Ja Rule finished it out with Always on Time. How do you feel about the order of the presentation? Do you think Ja Rule got it right? I think he really capped it off properly with Always on Time, even though it was on a prior album to The Last Temptation. Always on Time was featured on Pain is Love. So it was out of order, Bonds.
well, yeah, in that sense of a timeline, but for the verse's sake, I felt like it played off right, and it kind of had to. They both had songs with her, and it was crazy because the last one it was the joint they all three had together. That's what I was like, I might as well jump in on this one. So, but yeah, the way they both had songs with her, it made sense. They had to do them together, and instead of bringing her, bopping her back and forth out on the stage. But yeah, like Rosewood said, she's Murder Inc. People look at her and think of Murder Inc. So you know what I'm saying.
Facts.
So now we're gonna get into What's Love, you guys. Fat Joe performed What's Love. He looked like he was having a blast. He's like, "What's love?" You know what I mean? Fat Joe was doing his thing all over the stage. I was digging it. I'm not gonna lie. So after Fat Joe did What's Love, Ja Rule actually said, "Out of all the hooks I wrote, I wish I kept that one the most."
Facts.
What do you think, Twiz? If Ja Rule had kept What's Love, could he have utilized it as well as Fat Joe, who looked like a kid in a candy store?
He probably could, he probably could have, but at the end of the day, he was on a hook and everything, so really don't matter. He still put his stamp on it. You know what I mean? It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? He still did what he had to do on that, John. So
Yeah, but in terms of his hits, though, that would have been like, say if you got now. This is the question: would you rather write the hook on the smash or have the smash? You rather have that smash, and if you got 10 smashes and say them shits made you like 10 million, and you could have had 11. You know what I'm saying? And had another 10 million. It's like, damn, I would have held that one, man. God, that would be
one. Buns, think
That's
about
true.
it. That one song would have increased Ja Rule's net
catalog
worth by
crazy.
$10 million.
Shit me? Of course.
Of course, he wishes he still has that record.
Of course he would.
So I think Ja Rule got Fat Joe because he started with Mesmerized. Obviously, Fat Joe was going to counter that with What's Love, but then he came back with the ultra popular Always on Time.
Wow.
Now, Bonds, I want to know what you thought about the way that Fat Joe followed that up with the classic Make It Rain.
Nah, he snapped with Make It Rain. I got a hole in the backwood just now. That shit crazy. But yeah, fucking Nah, when he came with the Make It Rain, Fat Joe surprised me a couple times. When he came with the Make It Rain, I was like, oh yeah, he hit me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rosewood, I gotta ask you, Ja even admitted that was one of his favorite songs before going into a long speech, which we'll get into in a second. But what did you think about Ja actually there admitting, all right, that's one of my favorites?
Yeah, because that was a banger. That was one of them bangers right there. That was one of them Cool and Dre bangers. And then the remix, I do believe, was crazy too. So I believe Ja Rule probably is like, damn, I wish I could have been on that. Or, around popping around that time to be on something like that. So it's probably saying he's bopping too.
Twiz, what's your thought, man? Fat Joe comes back with Make It Rain. He just took it to another level. I mean, Make It Rain, I believe we did the research last week, was 06. By 06, Ja Rule's career is pretty much floundering out at this point. I think even the Rule album came out before then.
True, it definitely was floundering out, and that was a good song. But we all know Wayne made that song, man. Without Wayne energy on that joint, Wayne brought the energy to that song, bro. Anybody could have rapped on them verses off of that hook.
Bonds, we didn't get to discuss this with you, Bonds, but when Fat Joe came onto the stage, he came onto the stage saying, Queens, it's all love.
Oh, nah, he came onto the stage playing The Bridge Is Over, though.
Yeah,
you beat that. The wrong fucking vibes. You know what I'm saying? As far as I'm concerned. You know what I'm saying?
He said, Queens, it's all love.
Nigga that got Queens misconcerned. You know what I'm saying? You don't come around with that beat, man.
We ain't going to
That's why John came on hype. That's why John came on hype.
Yeah, we ain't jacking that. We ain't jacking that. We know what that means when he came out with that beat. Fuck out of it.
Fat Joe whole energy was like, yo, you my brother, I love you, but fuck you. That was his energy the whole time, bro. Like, you my brother, but
see, Remy came out hype. She was ready to slap the shit out of Ja Rule, I thought.
So y'all, Ja Rule started going into this hyper speech. You know what I mean? Ja Rule's voice be getting all loud and shit. Somebody actually commented. Y'all probably didn't see it, but somebody actually commented in one of the lives. Ja Rule needs anger management. You know, because Ja just be getting so crazy and animated when he be talking.
Nah, he was hype. He was hype.
Yeah, and then
he was on 10.
He performed probably the record that I gotta say, shut it down, man. Ja Rule performed I'm Real, and that shut down Make It Rain.
Nah, it's a fact. What's my name? When he dropped this, like, and he had the J-Lo voice. Oh, you Ellie. Like,
He stopped.
When I said, I was like, nah, it's over.
He stopped and said, do it again. You didn't do it loud enough.
Yeah, he got crazy. Nah, he stunned it with that one. He stunned it with that one. If he stunned it with it, if he like he snapped on him with that one. Then the whole crowd said it too, like it was crazy. What's my motherfucking name?
Oh, you Ellie.
And it was J-Lo voice. Crazy. Nigga Fat Joe was like, J-Lo don't even take your calls no more, man.
So Rosewood, we have such look at this music that we just got. We go from Mesmerized to What's Love to Always on Time to Make It Rain to now I'm Real. Did Ja Rule went on a rant and said, we were number one for 11 weeks. Did Ja Rule shut him down at this point with I'm Real?
He won. It wasn't over, but I would say he was winning. He was definitely winning. He definitely was winning when he pulled that out the bag. Because that joint hit different too. When, like I said, the lackluster Jones, Ja might miss you with a couple, but he brought way more hits than lackluster songs. And that was one of them right there. And it's hit different.
And Bonds, let me get your take on it, because one of the first things that Fat Joe said was no Jennifer Lopez, and I didn't get your take on that yet.
Yeah. He's like, J-Lo ain't taking your calls. He was like, J-Lo ain't even taking your calls no more, nigga.
Like I said earlier, Bonds, Ja Rule responded to that and got a little bit of cheap, promo. He's like, me and J-Lo got a show next week in Central Park. Go check it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The guys, Rosewood and Twiz were explaining that's a whole nother check. And I was even saying a little bit earlier, Jennifer Lopez is going to come on Verzuz when she does one with Beyonce. So
be a heavy.
She ain't doing one with Beyonce though.
Yeah, she is, man.
She can't do one with Beyonce. She ain't. She gotta do one with. She gotta do one with. She can't do one with Beyonce, man.
Why
Beyonce
not?
gotta do one because Beyonce got way more hits than her. That's not even a versus.
No, you don't think
Beyonce.
so?
Hell no. She gotta
Yeah.
do. She gotta do one with Jennifer Lopez. Got to do one with. Probably she should have done one with Keisha Cole, somebody or something.
No, I think
Yeah.
they got that right with Ashanti. But
Not Beyonce.
so
Mary J.
Fat
Blige
Joe,
got to do Beyonce, somebody.
Fat Joe said that's bubblegum, which I kind of disagree with. I would not consider I think I'm Real is actually a timeless classic record. I wouldn't consider that bubblegum throwaway music. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
wouldn't consider that music that's here. That's evidently music that's not here today, gone tomorrow. How long has that song been around now, guys? 20 years now, right? So
Yeah.
Ja Rule said I'm Real was number 1 for 11 weeks. I think he actually meant number 1 on the charts.
Right.
So Fat Joe replied and said, my song was on the top of the charts for 47 weeks. And here's a little bit of hip hop trivia, Rosewood. What song was Fat Joe talking about that was on the charts for 47 weeks?
That's damn. And when he hit me with all the oh, all right, yeah. Man, what the fuck is the name of the song? I'm gonna lose the trivia on that one. Damn, what the fuck?
All right. I'm gonna pass it over to Twiz. Twiz,
Trivia.
do you know the
Yeah.
trivia on this?
I don't know. I'm gonna just say it's all the lean back. It's all the
Yep. It's
lean
lean
back.
back.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yep.
You see me
Now-
leaning back, Rosewood?
Yeah. That's
Mhm.
what you were doing, Bonds. I was like, what the hell's Bonds doing? I was like, Bonds is eager to answer this question, but you were
I was
leaning
trying to
back.
give Rosewood a hint. I was trying to lean back.
Now,
Yeah, look,
Bonds.
I'm all over the
sound like
place.
he, but look at that.
Now, guys, you know the hip hop panel is here. We got 300 people in the building. I think honestly, when Fat Joe said the record was he said it was on the top of the charts for 47 weeks. So not specifically number 1, but I want to say I'm Real with Ja and J-Lo was probably number 1 for 11 weeks.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Twiz, Fat Joe plays Lean Back to go up against I'm Real. What's your thoughts, man? How did Lean Back stand up against I'm Real, hearing them back to back?
I like I'm Real better. Me personally, Lean Back was just this song that got jammed in your head. You drive through the trap, see trappers out there, like, yeah, I mean, like
Really?
even if you ain't like the song, if you was making fun of it or whatever, it's stuck in your head, bro. Yeah, it was like one of them. It was like a high hater joint or something where that joint just jammed, bro. Like it's just stuck in. Yeah, I mean, you can't get rid of that.
Bonds, do you feel the same way about I'm Real and Lean Back? Does Lean Back stand up to I'm Real? What's your opinion?
Yeah. Those are both party starter records, man. Both of those records is gonna get the party started. Like, you know what I'm saying? You throw those on. Well, that could be two different parties, depending on the I'm Real joint. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
Lean Back was more of a party joint.
Lean Back, but if you got some older cats in there, some 80s, 90s babies, you throw that I'm Real on, you know what I'm saying? The girls gonna get crazy, so you're gonna get the party started. Like, but they both big records, probably two different time zones. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna agree with Bonds and Twiz. I believe that I'm Real is a better record, more longevity than Lean Back's always gonna be played at clubs and parties forever. But I think I'm Real's held a little bit more in our hearts. What do you think, Rosewood?
Oh, it definitely is. Lean Back, I go to what Twiz was saying, like he kind of slipped in. And like 50 said, yeah, he thought Lean Back was in the club, you know. So it's like I think he just kind of came out.
Lean Back was in the club. My shit
Yeah,
sold 11 mil. His shit was a dud. Let me ask you guys. Lean Back had and we're veering off a little bit here, so I hope you guys enjoy this little bonus topic here. Fat Joe had a remix to Lean Back. You know what I'm saying? With Eminem, Remy, Mace. Why was there never a remix for I'm Real, Twiz?
some things is best to keep original. It's like when they made Belly 2. You don't want to destroy it. Yeah, I mean, you just gotta leave it and go to you gotta leave it and go to the next project, man.
Belly too.
Seriously.
That's
You
true.
you gotta keep certain joints legendary. Everything not made the remix.
Right. They gave the remix.
Right.
Too. Yep. I guess I think everybody pretty much agrees with that. So let me see. So Joe then brought out Ashanti and Remy. He brought Ashanti, right? Ashanti and Remy out, and he gifted them both bags on the stage.
Yeah.
He
Awesome.
gifted them both bags on the stage, man. Bonds, you want to take it away on that, man?
Oh man.
Yes, gave him some look. They shits with some Birkin bags, man. $10,000 shits.
I was thinking those were Birkins.
$20,000 shits. Yeah, he gave him two of them. He gave both of them Birkins, man.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Yeah, but I still think Bonds. I still think that was like a crowd, a distraction for the crowd, because it was like, it's like, all right, I see what you're doing, but it's like you trying to take away from the music,
right?
You know,
yeah.
It's like, come on, keep the music coming. You know, don't come with the gimmicks, don't come with the tricks, the smoke and mirrors. Come with the music.
What was up with that, Bonds?
Louis put the.
Why did he do that in the middle of a verses? I mean, that's obviously never been done before.
Yeah, maybe he got it. Maybe it was some product placement. Maybe it was some promotional commercial type shit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it was that.
Bonds, you weren't here earlier, but we discussed how there was an intermission where Fat Joe said he was going to be changing clothes. You know, Ja Rule was like, I'm not changing clothes, but listen to what Bonds just said. There probably was a sponsorship from whatever bag company that was potentially, but also Fat Joe probably got changed to change his outfits is what I'm thinking, Bonds.
Yeah. And you know, he a big dude, and then they was probably performing for like an hour. He's like, I'm gonna perform for a half an hour, sweat up, and then I'm gonna need to switch up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Big dude, he might want to, you know what I'm saying? Take show. I don't know.
Yep. No, Fat Joe, like Frank says, Fat Joe definitely got paid more for this verses. You got to look to what they were actually saying in the verses. At one point, Fat Joe was like, "Yo, where have you been? Like, I was making hits before you, and I've been making hits since you've been gone." Like, Fat Joe has kept his name really out there with all these different type of sponsors, even that are going to come in, all these sponsors that haven't lost faith in Fat Joe over the last 20 years. Whereas there was a certain point where every sponsor lost faith in Ja Rule. You know what I mean? Every sponsor was like, damn, Ja Rule, you might not be the best thing to invest in right now. And that's why Fat Joe, like, really still is making a lot more money, I'd have to say.
But Ja Rule didn't have relationships like Fat Joe had. And Fat Joe stayed relevant by hopping on different features, and you know, he had Khaled. He was doing a lot of things too, you know what I'm saying? So he wasn't dropping hit after hit. He probably since Ja Rule been gone, he might have dropped. You can count on one hand how many hits he dropped probably since Ja Rule been gone.
And Fat Joe was incarcerated as well. You know what I mean? Fat Joe did a little bit of time behind bars as well, you know?
He did. He definitely did for the taxes.
But we're going to have to talk about Ja Rule sort of antagonizing Remy Ma. Bonds. He was sort of antagonizing Remy with all the, get him, Rem! Get him! Get him! Save your brother, Rem! You know? Yeah. And Rem gave Ja that ice grill, man. She gave him the ice grill. Everything was pieced up. They hugged each other. At one point before you logged in, I did mention Remy said it's still a 187 on Joe's good friend Ja. What'd you think about that antagonization going on between them?
First she said cocksucker. Then
Yes.
she said, you know what I mean?
I was trying to PG it up. Thank you, Bonds. Thank you.
Yeah, my bad. She
just talking about sponsors.
You know, we just trying to give the raw detail verbatim. She said,
Slim Jim.
You know, we facts, man.
Where are we at with the razors? What's them Manscaped? Get at us.
Yeah, Manscaped, get at us, man.
Yep.
'Cause I need something.
We still rocking. Got 300 people in here rocking with us. But Bonds, I'm sorry to cut you off, my brother.
Mm-hmm. But
you were speaking on Ja Rule antagonizing Remy. I think she was getting a little annoyed with it. I think Ja Rule was maybe had a shot too many or something.
yeah, Ja Rule was on 10, bro.
He was cool.
He was on 10 the whole night. From top to that nigga, he was full of energy, bro. He from the top came out.
He had to do it. He had to.
He was even on one of them things, or it just been a long time since he performed in New York in front of a crowd like that, though. It
Bro,
might
Yeah,
be about
Ja Rule
Facts.
probably took an E-bomb.
One or the other.
Vicious E-bomb, boy.
Either one or the other or both. Is he ain't performing in a long time and he took his shot. He was ready.
He ain't performing in time like that. It's been at least 10 years, but
Nah, you're right. You're right. Bonds. He was extra excited. He was really excited about that performance, no doubt about it. And there's nothing wrong with being excited with that performance.
I don't know. He used to doing that.
Bonds, how do you feel seeing your Queen's brother put on like that, man? He really put on for Queens.
I was happy for him that you know what I'm saying, that he was that excited to be back on the stage like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what he was used to doing. Like he did that a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, and to be gone, you know what I mean, for a while, like kind of like when they kicked Carmelo out the league, man, like I mean, so I was happy for him to, you know what I'm saying, get his shine back, and you know what I'm saying. Well, that was happy for him. Oh, that's what kind of night it is? The 85 night? Gelati.
Couple
times. Going out. What the fuck?
So
yeah, Ja Rule definitely needed that though. Bonds, my bad, Mikey T. Because it let people show that Ja Rule can basically still perform at a high level.
They still got him out there.
Yeah, if he performs for you, you know it's gonna be at a high level. That's one thing he said. So like the show with him and J-Lo, that's gonna be a high energy show right there. So that was definitely great promotion for that.
So guys, they ended it very peacefully hugging. You know, Joe said this. He said, I picked Ja to go up against me because everyone was scared to go against him because he has so many hits. I want my brother to get the props he deserves. I love Ja. And before we get into Ja's response, you guys, I want to just touch on this. I don't think Fat Joe's just talking about 50 Cent in this statement, you guys. I think he's talking about a lot of other people in the game who just wouldn't want, who at points were Ja Rule's peers. You know, all these guys, Nas, Jay-Z, name them. They were Ja Rule's peers at one point because Ja Rule was one of the greatest in the game, you know. I don't think it was just a little thing about 50 not wanting to do a versus. I think he was really just paying his respect to Ja Rule. And after this very, very aggressive versus, man, it was good to see them come together and, you know, embrace each other like that. Bonds, what do you think?
Yeah, that was dope. And that's what we figured they was gonna come together, do the New York joint last. You know what I'm saying? And that was right. What Joe said, like, you know what I mean? A lot of dudes ain't want to do it. Like, you know what I mean? You know, he said he wanted to, you know what I'm saying, shine with his bro and all that.
You know, yeah, because honestly,
that's cool.
You know, honestly, getting this chance to see Ja Rule do the verses, we got to see like a lot of what we forgot that he can do, Twiz. Like, how much did Ja Rule remind us of how much he can dominate a stage, man? I mean, this is a guy who was obviously performing 250 days out of a year for 6-7 years, as he was saying.
Facts. You know what I mean? That's the time when he was out. When he was out, he was lit. Everybody wanted the features. He doing tours with the, you know, the greatest rappers out at that time, man. So he was impactful for his time. And some artists need to get out the game certain times. You be having certain artists that's legends from back in the day, and they try to come out and push music, and the people ain't gravitating to it. So I feel like that was your legacy never leave, man. It's like sitting back listening to the oldies or something. You know what I mean? Certain songs, they could never be tarnished.
Rosewood, Ja replied, he said, I know we up here and we talked a lot of shit to each other, but if y'all ever been on the streets and on the block, you know it ain't nothing. He said, people talk way more shit than that rolling dice.
Facts. That is true.
He
I
right.
mean, because we know it's just like a little verbal sparring match. And, I think it was just all love. And it was just, to sell the showcase. That was one thing they said we're going to do. We're going to sell the showcase. We know it's no real hurt feelings for this. And I believe Fat Joe meant everything he said by giving Ja Rule his props, giving him his flowers. A lot of artists didn't want to go up there and probably get Ja Rule his flowers, for whatever reason. But Fat Joe said, I'm going to take it on and I'm going to sell it at the same time. So I'm glad they both did it and sold it in the correct way. It definitely was a good right there. That was a good job.
Yep.
Facts.
As Bond said, they actually ended it by performing New York. And, just as it was about to end, I was like, yo, so Jada's not going to pop up? Because, I didn't notice Jada the whole time. I'm like, Jada's not going to pop up?
King of verses.
Jada pops up, of course.
Facts.
The unofficial, we're saying it right here on the hip hop panel, you guys. Jadakiss, the unofficial king of the verses, pops up, and we just end the night on a spectacular note, with these guys coming together to perform New York. And I just want to say, watching Ja Rule and Fat Joe together, I kind of got vibes of running. Tupac and Biggie, you know what I mean? I kind of got vibes from Ja and Joe like that. And then, of course, Jada came in and sealed the deal. What do you guys, Rosewood, you think I'm off base? What do you guys think in the chat?
No,
Off base
you
Joe to Pac and Big? Rosewood.
It had that vibe because shout out to DJ Technician and Don DeMarco because they are spinning back there for him. And they kind of, Ja Rule had the Pain song with the Tupac beat that he did. So he gave the Tupac shout out. Then they're definitely playing a lot of big songs up in there. So it definitely kind of gave you that. I see where you kind of get that from. And you in Madison Square Garden, so even with Jermaine Dupri getting up there at the end, it reminded me of the Source Awards. So it kind of took me back. It definitely took me back to a timeless era. Them classics can't be tarnished, like Twiz said. It's a timeless era right there.
Twiz, man, what did you think about the way they ended the battle, man? What did you think about the way that this versus ended? Like I said earlier when we first got started, I really feel like these two set the bar even higher. Like me personally, for the next two people that come in under the verses, they know what they've got to do. But Twiz, how'd you feel about the way that this thing ended off with New York?
Facts. It was good. It was showing that this is all entertainment. It's no hard feelings. That's real important nowadays because we know just hip hop in the streets is so connected that you don't want people to get the wrong idea. Like it's drama, bro. So I feel like it's real important, especially when people was getting gritty in between the joints because it was definitely shots fired in the damn doggone verses to the point whoa, it's a little bit left field, but they ended it off with positivity and reminded the people that not only do we have hits, but we got to join together. And that's the New York anthem right there, bro. I don't care what part of the world you from. Everybody know that I'm from New York, John. That John hit hard. And to have Kiss come out, that was the show closer. You know what I'm saying?
Did you see the did y'all go over the what was the numbers?
I didn't look at the numbers on the verses.
Yeah.
No, we did not go over the numbers. But right now I just want to bring it across the board. And if anybody wants to bring up something from the versus battle, even anybody in the chat, what were your favorite moments from the versus battle? Obviously, Bonds, you joined us a little bit late. So if there's any other moments that you want to discuss, but I'm going to bring it around the board. Rosewood, was there a moment from the versus battle tonight that we didn't discuss that you wanted to bring up? Obviously, you got your flow, Joe. You got Clap Back, the two records you didn't want to see used. They played Thug Lovin' to my disapproval. Any
Right.
other moments that we didn't cover?
Play that shit.
I think that's why I think I brought it up though. When he said to shout out to Tupac and then he did the Pain joint. You know, that's about it. But I knew he's gonna go there with it. I mean, it was a lot of great moments from both sides. It was a lot of great moments. It definitely set the bar to another level with the verses. I'm gonna say that. You right on that. It definitely set the bar. Whoever's coming next, you know, at the locks, then them, it's like you gotta come with a guaranteed hit this time. Everybody gotta come hitting. Everybody.
Oh, thanks, Vanessa.
Over 1 million.
That's
That's crazy. Twiz, was there anything else from this versus battle? Before we move on, we're going to be talking about Irv Gotti and 50. We're going to be talking about Little Mo and Remy as well. But Twiz, was there anything from the initial verses that we didn't discuss tonight that really is still standing out in your mind? We went over a lot.
Yeah, we went over everything. It was just two parts that stood out the most, but we went over it already. So I don't know if you want me to speak on it or not.
Okay.
We spoke on it already, basically.
Just
yeah, we already pretty much went
it.
over it.
Just summarize it so
Yeah.
Bonds could get an
All
idea
right.
if he wasn't here.
All right, just to keep it brief, one of the biggest moments to me was when he brought Ashanti out, and because the reason why is because he had already played a few songs with Ashanti. So when he played them songs with Ashanti, I kind of assumed that she wasn't going to pop out. You know what I mean? So he popped her out after it was already a few songs that she was on. And the other big part was when Fat Joe brought the bags out, because I didn't really get to speak on that topic. It was like he gave one of his artists a bag, then he gave Ashanti a bag. To me, that was like a statement. Like, when the last time Murder Inc. showed you love, Ashanti, come holler at me. I'll get you back on. Like, yeah, man, that was like a punch in the face.
And that was like another in Bonds. Twiz brought up another moment. Twiz, refresh everybody on that moment when Fat Joe was like, "My bitch is rich."
Real rap. He made Lil Mo and Vita look like, you know what I'm saying? He made them look small when at the time and with them coming out, because that was way before Ashanti had came out. But it was kind of throwing her under the bus too. It was like a subliminal, man. Like, you know, y'all don't take care of y'all females. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? They starving over there, bro. Like, dollar right, I can get them. Bro, right.
Yeah, why had no bags for Lil Mo and Vita? Why had no,
he didn't.
He got the smallest bag for them.
He made John
He
look
don't
bad.
got no respect, man. He gave them the Dusty treatment. That's where the Dusty comment come in.
Yeah, he could have a little change, something.
Bonds, I'm gonna bring it over to you, bro.
Wow.
What were the moments from the versus battle that stuck out to you?
Yeah, besides the Vita and all that, like it was the two things I could say is Ashanti, she was just looking really good. And I liked you know, Pun, he represented for Pun, and I like how he did you know what I'm saying? I'm not a player. Like, you know, Pun is not here. He ain't never gonna get a chance to do a versus. So if Fat Joe did a versus, then he had the, you know what I'm saying, ref for Pun. And so that was kind of dope. And he did the I like how Remy did Pun part with the twin joint they did. When they said that was fire. How she did Big Pun part and they did the back and forth. So yeah, that was dope.
Major salute to 1017 TV. And I'm gonna bring this question to the man who wanted this song. The man who wanted this song more than probably anybody to be played at the verses. He 1017 says, I'm surprised that Fat Joe didn't play We Thuggin'. Why wasn't We Thuggin' played, Rosewood? And how disappointed were you on a scale from 1 to 10, especially when he played other records that might not have made sense?
True. And when you put it like that on a scale of 1 to 10, I gotta say maybe disappointment, maybe like a 4. Because I knew they weren't going to play it because of R. Kelly. I thought maybe Fat Joe might kind of slip his verse in without playing R. Kelly, but obviously he couldn't do it. So I didn't think he was going to be able to do that any old way.
Yeah, man.
He might have had to pay R. Kelly anyway because it's royalties for performance.
That
royalties.
is.
Man, they need to start doing hologram. They need to start doing hologram verses, man.
So
That might be next.
guys, we got to move
Real
on
right.
to one of the most controversial topics that came out of it. As we read a little bit earlier, Scott Storch had actually commented in the stream. Irv Gotti was another guy who actually was commenting in the stream. Irv Gotti commented, all y'all talking that 50 shit, all good. He got beat up, stabbed, shot up, and sued us. That's all I'm going to say. Your hero ain't what you think he is. Period. And facts. Twiz, what's your take on Irv Gotti jumping in the IG live? As one of the viewers said, I guess it had upwards of 1 million people. I'm not sure of the official numbers, but what's your take on Irv Gotti not being in there in person, but jumping on the gram and commenting wherever? Or I mean, you couldn't really help yourself but comment, right?
I thought Gotti was there. I thought he was on the stage.
That was Chris Gotti, bro.
Oh, dang! I thought that was him, bro. I'm tripping.
Yeah,
he
they look
just
very
like
similar.
me.
Yep.
Yeah. So for one, I feel like he opening up. I feel like he opening up a wound that don't need to be open. For one, you know what I mean? Because it ain't like 50. You mean it ain't like 50 came out and said something on stage. The people gonna mention 50 when you talk about Ja Rule and Murder Inc. And secondly, your work ethic speak for itself. Irv Gotti being who he is and the people that he put on, you can't get upset because for you being the head of Murder Inc., you should have been strategic to keep your people going, man. Like that's how it's going to look. You know what I mean? It's like the whole team then crumbled after that, and it was like no reviving them. So you can't be upset with it, man. You just gotta that he should have before he should have said that he should have looked at the potential that his artist still got and should have been strategic. Like let's do a Murder Inc. tour or something. Let's do this, let's do that. I don't think he should be petty because he don't want to. 50 ain't nobody to be trying to troll. You're not gonna get nowhere.
Yep. No, they had spoke in the last few years about a Murder Inc. tour. I don't know if the pandemic shut down all of those talks. But Rosewood, what was your take seeing Irv Gotti jump on the stream and reignite this issue with 50? Could he help? He couldn't help himself, huh? There was just so many people invested in this thing.
He had to throw his jab out there at 50. He had to do it. Should you do it? No. But he took the opportunity to do that. He said, I'm not on stage, so I got to make my presence felt. And that's the way he felt he was going to make his presence known out there. But I think, like Twiz said, it would have been better if he would have did like some promo on there. 50 Cent is always going to be brought up with Murder Inc. It's anonymous. So you have to be more strategic, like Twiz said. I think he should have used it for promo. But Irv Gotti, he still throwing his jabs at fifth. But that show you they're going to be entrenched forever. You say Murder Inc., 50's going to come up. You say 50 Cent, they're going to come up. It's this ongoing tension with them.
So Bonds, 50 Cent actually responded to these comments. I believe it was subliminal, though. He said, I put they whole label out of business. F with me if you want to. I would stay out of my way if it wasn't me. If I wasn't me. I would stay out of my way if I wasn't me. LOL. What do you think about this little sparring between Irv Gotti? Who got who on that one?
50 wins again, man. 50, I don't even know why Irv said that. Everything that he said is already public knowledge. Everybody know the whole story.
Facts.
Like you
Nobody
showing
care.
everybody. still mad and that you still hurt. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't show the ability that, you know what I'm saying, you can bounce back. Like, that's what matters the most. Like, you got to stop mentioning that, man. Like, that shit is over, man.
So, Bonds, you're saying pretty much like everybody already knows what Irv Gotti said. We've heard the statements about the paperwork, the suing, the stabbing, the fights. We've already heard that. Why do you got to put it out there again? Just sort of move on and do what you're doing.
Exactly. Like, it's no reason, but you mad. You're still mad. You know what I'm saying?
You're mad while your brother is actually up there in front of everybody. And you know, that's something that comes with this game, you guys. I think all of us, Twiz, Rosewood, Bonds, we all understand that when you got a certain number of people watching you, some of them might leave a disrespectful, a disparaging comment. You know what I mean? You got to be bigger than that. You got to realize there might be 20 or 30 comments that come in like that, but you got 300 people watching you. Not everybody is commenting that shit. You got to be the bigger man.
Like they said, you got to affect people. People got to love you or hate you. You know what I'm saying? You don't want them to feel indifferent. Not give a fuck anyway. Like, you want them to either love me or hate me, man. If you there watching and you commenting, you giving your time and energy, hey, it's a comment. It's a view. I don't care what you talk about. I'm already firm in my belief of who I am. I know who I am.
So I want to get everybody's opinion on Irv Gotti actually not showing up. You know, Irv Gotti is like the Diddy to Big. You know what I mean? Rosewood, Irv Gotti said, Ja Rule told me he's going to handle this one on his own, which Ja mostly did handle on his own, except for the Charlie's Angels that he brought out. But you know what I'm saying? But what did you make of Irv Gotti not showing up for Ja Rule?
That was they had Chris Gotti up there and not Irv Gotti. That's weird, you know, because I didn't see Irv Gotti perform with Ja Rule. You know, Irv Gotti used to be a hype man back in the day and a DJ. So I thought he would be up there and bring that presence of the whole Murder Inc. So it just seemed weird to have Chris Gotti up there and not Irv Gotti. You know, seeing fuck Twiz up, he thought it was Irv Gotti up there. Now it's Chris. Oh, all right.
Yeah, I looked and I was like, yep, that's definitely Chris Gotti right there. But I had seen a video or a comment from Irv Gotti where he said, I didn't go because Ja Rule told me that he was going to hold it down. But it would have been Bonds. What do you think? Would it have been a good image to have seen them both together rocking, or would it have been too much?
Nah, it would have been good to see Irv there. He probably maybe, since he used to do that hype man and all that, maybe that was part of his plan, and Ja was like, nah. So, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he's a, and I don't want to, you know what I'm saying, because I don't know Irv, you know what I'm saying? So I don't want to keep calling him emotional, but maybe it wasn't, but maybe he, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he didn't come, you know, maybe he was working on something else, bro, but maybe,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I think if Ja had asked Irv to be there, Irv would have been there in a second. You know what I mean? I think Irv is that type of a loyal dude. You know what I mean? And yeah, Irv is an executive producer, but he did used to be on stage repping with Ja Rule and a DJ as well, man. We all come from humble beginnings, my brother.
So yeah, 2 DJs already there. Yeah, Will and DeMarco.
So Twiz, do you pretty much agree with Bonds in that 50 Cent got the upper hand on this exchange?
Absolutely. 50 is the best way to win is through success, man. So this guy's success, you know, people ain't sitting around listening to Murder Inc. music every day, but people watching Raising Canaan every Sunday. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like power, all these type of things. Like you know, he's a entrepreneur on a different level. Like, so 50, one of the most successful people in the industry. So in order to go to war with him, your success gotta basically be above his. He gonna crush you every time.
So, guys, there was another issue that popped off from here, and it was between Lil Mo and Remy Ma. So I'm gonna read this message. They actually went back and forth on the gram, you guys. It got kind of intense. It got kind of intense between the two of them, y'all. Let me see if I could find it. I did a snapshot of it. Here we go. So Little Mo at the Little Mo Show on Instagram, she commented, I need everyone to tell Fat Joe he owes a genuine apology. I don't live in a crack house. I'm not a bitch, nor am I dusty. Street code, hashtag. Women and children is off limits. Disappointed legend. Bonds, just because you didn't really get to touch on it, what was your reaction to Fat Joe calling these women that have performed with Ja Rule on successful records over the years dusty? Also referring to the fact that they were in the crack house, but the crack house is actually a major recording studio in Manhattan.
Yeah, that's a fact. The crack house is Ja Rule and them joint, but
Manhattan, right?
He kind of it's in Queens.
Oh, it's in Queens?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad.
I don't know if they moved to Manhattan, but I know the original crack house that they have is in Queens. But
my bad. Go on, Bonds.
But I don't know. I don't know. I can't even call it, bro, because I feel like I don't know, bro.
Well, I mean, Remy
the thing.
Right back at her.
Like, he didn't really say it before. He said that before they really came out. But what he did say about them was like, it's like, yo, you ain't feeding them. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know Vita was looking kind of thin, bro. Like, I don't know, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she came out there on 60 pounds, bro. I'm like, God dang.
I mean,
well, yo, Remy Ma let it go. She said, Lil Mo, stop it, Mo. You know damn well Joe ain't on it like that. First of all, you, V, Ashanti, or nobody had even come out yet when him and Ja was going back and forth. So we didn't know who was in the back. Second, that clarifies. Look what Bonds just said right there.
He supposed to give up. He didn't get him a Birkin, man.
He get him the bag. He's supposed to get them bags, man.
Mo Vita a Birkin, man. Like, Joe. See, if she would have just came at Joe, probably like, yo, she should have just said Joe owe us a Birkin, not an apology. People could probably got behind that, man. You know what I'm saying?
That is hilarious, but yo,
you might have sent those Birkins, man.
But Twiz, Bonds was right on point with that, man. From what Remy said, Remy said that when Ja and him was going back and forth, we didn't know who was in the back. Second, I was in the car when you walked through the parking lot and he hugged you and showed mad love as usual. No need for your followers to tell him anything. As someone that personally knows you, I'm sorry you were offended. You can call my phone. Matter of fact, I'm going to DM you my number in case you don't have it anymore. But also as someone that personally knows Joe, he was not intentionally trying to hurt anyone. It was a battle between friends that are family. Sidebar, street code, don't do social media.
That's a lie.
Twiz, what's your reaction to that, man?
Remy trying to justify that, man, so he don't look bad to the public. Because at the end of the day, if he wasn't talking about, look, come on, bro, they know who they're on the Johns. They know who was part of Murder Inc. If he wasn't talking about them, that means he was talking about his fans. At the end of the day, you was talking about a group of females that's attached to him. So which one was it? I feel like he said it, and it was like, damn, that might have been too much because Joe already said, he a dirty winner, and even the worst. You know what I'm saying? If he lose, like it's gonna get grimy, basically. So he was speaking his mind a little bit too much. Like, oh, you brought them out. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and Lil Mo so down to earth, she read between the lines. You know what I'm saying? She like, we not doing that. You know what I mean? Because how they know Ashanti was there, but they ain't know Lil Mo and Vita was there. It don't make no sense.
It says right here that that she says, I was in the car when you walked through the parking lot and he hugged you and showed you mad love. So they knew who was there.
Yeah, but I don't care. You can't hug. I don't care.
That could have been at the end.
In the parking lot if you diss me on stage. I don't care nothing about, like, you can't hug me in the parking lot.
Exactly. You diss me in public. You ain't even had to throw that. You ain't even have. You ain't have to. Yeah, you ain't have to throw that shot. It was a little too heavy. You talking about, like, come on, man. Because you gotta remember, he said, I don't want to cuss too much on the joint, but he was like, my bees is rich. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when you saying that, you basically saying your bees is broke. You know what I mean? At the end of the day.
He was just saying, man, he was just talking, he was just talking smack. You know what I mean? He was just
Brooklyn Kennedy says, where is SV Twist from? He sounds logical and like he knows about New York hip hop. Twiz, we got 320 people in here. First of all, let everybody know what the SV and Twiz stands for and let them know how you know so much about hip hop real quick, brother.
Appreciate it. You know what I mean? Much love and respect, Brooklyn. At the end of the day, I'm from Philly. You know, I'm from the Uptown, Germantown section. You know what I mean? And the SV stand for Somerville. You know what I mean? Yeah, she was definitely living in Philly. She was messing with Hurricane the boxers. She was cutting through and she was down to earth. You know, so that's why she ain't had no problem talking to Little Mo. She was in the trenches. She used to mess. It's a boxer from Philly named Hurricane. He be trashing people. And and she pull up and you'll see Lil Mo in the trenches. She be comfortable, back blocks down north, all of that. So but yeah, I'm from Uptown Philly, man, and you know, hip hop was just a part of my life, man. So salute to you.
Let me answer this super chat real quick. 1017. We actually did a video about that a couple weeks ago, man. But Cuban Link and the Fat Joe thing, so you can go check that out if you want to. Don't really want to talk about that in this video, brother, but I appreciate the super chat. Let's see. So going from there, you guys, I actually wanted to touch on another verses or a couple verses that we haven't got to see because of cancellations, and a couple verses that apparently we haven't got to see because they don't want to compete. And I'm going to talk about T.I. right now, you guys. Let's talk about T.I., a man who I saw do a video, and apparently T.I. has challenged 50 Cent in the past, and it looks like T.I. would like to go against a heavyweight like a Jay-Z or a 50 Cent. At one point, T.I. was going to face Young Jeezy, but that battle was actually canceled, and they moved Gucci Man in place of T.I. So, Rosewood, what do you think about T.I. actually calling out the likes of 50 Cent? Do you think T.I. is a worthy versus battle for a Jay-Z?
I don't, man, for Jay-Z, nah. Maybe 50. I think him and Jeezy was the right thing, but it got canceled. And he slid Gucci Man in there, which came out to be excellent. But I don't know if that was his opportunity. Now we don't know. It's hard to say, man. It's hard to say for T.I. because I think Jay-Z just has too many. He's gonna have too much. It's gonna be too much, man.
Yeah, I don't really think that makes sense either. To be 100% honest, I don't think that makes sense either. Another battle that actually I want to ask you about, a versus battle potential, was Busta Rhymes Bonds. Busta Rhymes called out T.I., and T.I. actually denied the battle. What do you make of T.I., who was actually out there actively seeking a versus? He wants to battle 50. He was set to battle Jeezy, but now he's declining a versus with Busta Rhymes. What's your take on that?
Yeah, because he want to battle somebody that, you know what I'm saying? He wants to battle. I mean, I'm not saying I agree with him, but I'm just saying his point is that, you know what I'm saying? Busta Rhymes, and he wants somebody that I guess is gonna be more clout for him, man. You know what I mean?
He wants to battle somebody that's a hip hop superstar from the sounds of what you're saying.
Yeah, he want to battle somebody more relevant, in his opinion, more relevant. I'm not
Busta,
saying.
Busta is a superstar. Busta better than
Yeah,
50.
I don't agree with T.I. I'm just saying that's why he feel like he be like, oh, Busta is somebody else in a different route. I think Busta would be dope, but he just, you know what I'm saying? He feel like he want Jay-Z. I don't feel like he need no, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
I don't think he can get hold. I don't think he can get Jack.
Nah, he don't need Hov.
He definitely can't.
So let me bring it
It's
right back to you,
impossible.
Rosewood. And I'm going to ask everybody else in the chat right now as well. T.I. versus Busta, do you guys want to see it? Rosewood, I'm bringing it back over to you. Since we didn't get to see T.I. and Jeezy, and obviously we're not going to see 50 and T.I., more than likely we're not going to see 50 and T.I. Maybe there's a chance.
Might be a chance.
There might be a chance. Do you think T.I. and Busta would move any weight? Would it do any numbers?
It would do numbers, but not no real numbers. It's not. It don't got that. It's not really hitting like that. Like T.I. Busta Rhymes. It's really not kind of hitting like that. I think that's why T.I. turned it down. But I'm trying to. It's not too many more people left that T.I. really can go up against. That's why I said it's really kind of bad timing with him. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, unless he gonna do like
T.I.
Unless he gonna do like a Rick Ross, or he could do like a Rick Ross or 2 Chainz or some
Rick
shit.
Ross is smoking.
Yeah, I could see T.I. Rick Ross. Okay. T.I. Rick Ross.
Actually, T.I. Lil Wayne wouldn't be bad. He might want to petition for that one next.
That's handicap. That's handicap. Are you kidding me? Wayne is too. He will smoke T.I., bro.
Are you
Nah,
kidding
Lil
me?
Wayne smoke anybody.
Bro,
T.I. I don't think
T.I. records,
T.I. though. My bad, guy.
T.I. overrated, man.
I was just saying it's 20 records.
Though.
Oh, boom. That's a good one right there. 1017 TV's
Yeah,
got
T.I. and Nelly. That's more
T.I.
like
and
it.
Nelly. Yeah.
That's more like it. Nelly went
like
against Ludacris already. But
T.I. and Nelly.
Now, I think I had said this before, but Yo Gotti versus Rick Ross.
I said different though.
I think
you
that
said Yo Gotti.
I said Yo Gotti versus Rick Ross. I think Yo Gotti
don't got enough hits.
What'd you say?
He don't got enough hits.
Who, Yo Gotti?
That's what I said earlier. That's what I said earlier. I agree, Bonds. Rick Ross is smoke Gotti, and Gotti got some heat,
Rick Ross.
So guys, let's give our rating. That's one thing we didn't do. We didn't give our rating on the most recent versus battle. And by a rating, I want you guys to place it against some of the most recent versus battles that you've seen. Me, mostly, I'm placing it with Gucci and Jeezy, Dipset and the Locks. There's some other ones. I know you guys like the Soulja Boy and the Bow Wow battle. There was a few other battles as well, but I want to rate it based on that as far as where you rate it amongst recent battles. Let's start it out with Twiz. How you gonna rate this battle, this versus battle, man?
I'll put it in like 4th place. I'll give it like 4th place, like a 4th place battle. Yeah, I mean, I definitely seen better verses that was more challenging from both parties. For one, Locks and Dipset was number 1. For 2, Jeezy versus Gucci was better just because of the history and because the energy, especially when Gucci brought out the diss track. You know what I mean? That whatever that, I forgot the name of the joint. Like, it was getting personal. People was going crazy on that joint. Like, it was serious. That the energy was serious, man. I gotta put it like 4th place, man. Like the 4th best versus.
And why? What was above it? What were the other ones? What was the other ones above it aside from?
So I said 2 of them. I said 2 of them. The other one would probably have to be dang, it's hard. I know it's another one.
Probably Fab and Jada.
Fab and Jada was good, but also it was also some good singing joints like we can't forget the singing ones, y'all. Yeah, I
Bro,
mean it was some
I
good
was
singing
just
joints.
thinking
You
that,
had
bro. Thinking that.
you had what's their name? SWV versus I can't
Yeah.
think of the other
yeah,
group name.
And the producer
That
joints
was
too, man. Escape. The
facts,
producer
Escape.
joints too.
facts, facts. It was
How
a
about
couple Jones
John
that I
Legend and
would
Alicia Keys?
Yeah, dope. That was
they
dope
did a
right there.
versus. I ain't
Yep.
catch that John. That's crazy.
I ain't see
Hmm.
it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Redman and Method Man, there's a bunch of other ones, but I'm ranking this one pretty high because everyone go check out Dark Low's new record featuring Havoc, Mob Tales. Check that
Iceberg,
shit out.
what up?
Iceberg, what it do?
Everybody go check that shit out right now.
I
But
gotta check it out. Oh, Dark Low dropped the joint with Havoc.
yep.
The Havoc dropped the
Mob
first single.
Tales, Dark Low featuring Havoc, Mob Tales. But I'm placing this battle really high on my top list of obviously the Jeezy, Gucci, Locks, Dipset. I'm not putting other battles like French Montana, Tory Lanez, Ghostface Killer, Raekwon, Snoop and DMX. I mean, I'm not gonna rank because those were a little bit different. They were Snoop and X were in a studio together. You know what I mean? Like some of these versus battles are different. Uh,
They
uh,
were.
like this one's different because our more recent ones are in front of a crowd, so we're starting to get a new feel for it. That's why I think this one has an edge
True,
above
true.
a lot of the other ones as well. Gucci Man and Jeezy. I'm only placing this. I might sound crazy for placing Ja and Fat Joe above Gucci Man and Jeezy, but I'm only doing that just because of the recognition of the hits. Like I'm doing it because of the recognition of the hits. Like these guys were playing records that I grew up. I know I grew up to. Yeah, I grew up to. Gucci Man and Jeezy came out around. You know what I mean? In the mid 2000s when I was already formed into the person that I was going to be. You know what I mean? A lot of this music, like Ja Rule said, we were at a lot of our middle school engagements, high school engagements. People went to homecoming and all those other little dances, and they were dancing to Ja Rule music. You were not dancing to So Icy. Am I wrong? Am I wrong, Quiz? Were the kids dancing to So Icy? I bet you they were in the middle
So
school.
Icy the
It's
hood.
what
So
what yeah,
Icy.
for us it what well, for us, you gotta remember, like, especially you know what I mean, living the life of streets, bro. Like, we used to call hustling grinding. Jeezy came and turned it to trapping. To this day, we still talk trapping like that. Like
Yeah.
Jeezy and Gucci was the streets. Ja Rule was I'm a thug, but I still need that. I still need my backbone with me. Like you, my female. So it gave you that vibe. So it was like different. Jeezy and Gucci was straight for the streets, bro. It wasn't really no lovey-dovey songs and nothing like, you know what I'm saying? So it was just it hit the streets different. Like Jeezy changed it, period. Like I was a vicious Jeezy head when he had came out,
Yeah.
bro.
I also noticed that they did a Hulu partnership for this as well. Well, shit, man. The Ja Rule
Damn.
said Ja Rule said that when he did the Young Jeezy record, it was crickets, bro. You must have been going off. You must have gave that round to Fat
Yeah.
Joe.
Well, no, it's different because it was a Fat Joe John. Like a Jeezy John is different. Like I'm talking about Jeezy talking that straight trap talk. It was different. Like Jeezy energy was different back then. Like on his Johns, like Jeezy liked to drink, all that type of stuff. Like that joint had you going crazy, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
So
Yeah,
Rosewood,
It was
man,
different.
yeah.
how were you ranking this battle, man?
I'm putting this up there with the top Joe. I'm putting this up there with one of the top ones, man. Just because of all the hits that we got in the performance that we got from Fat Joe and Ja Rule. The people they brought out, everything was in sync and on time. And it is a different vibe from X and Snoop because I think it was still that starting out then. Now you got the crowd with it, so it's kind of a different feeling now. But I gotta rate it up there because the performance, man. They came out there, did their thing. So
Right.
it's one of the top verses, man.
You might be right. That might be why I rank it right up there with the Dipset and
Come on, man. Stay focused, man. Catch the stream.
but
For sure. Much love and respect.
But another reason that I rate this as right there with Dipset and the Locks, if I didn't like it a little bit more than Dipset versus the Locks, because it was one-on-one. When you get one-on-one, it's always a little bit more personal. You don't got to focus on 6 guys. You're focusing on 2 guys. You're getting the best of both worlds. No pun intended. You know what I'm saying? You're getting the best of both worlds, what we both grew up with, man. And it was just crazy seeing those 2 guys come together. I was almost like, damn, these guys remind me of Pac and Big. But Bonds, how did you rank this battle or this versus battle against other ones that you've seen?
I rank it high, bro. It was dope. Yeah, I liked it. I rank it high. The ones I would say that I made like better or kind of equal. I like the Ghost and Ray joint. That was I like the Ghost and Ray joint. Of course the Locks and Dipset, of course. And I like the producer joints. I like the what was that? What was that? Sean Garrett.
Boy Wonder go against again.
Who?
Who'd Boy Wonder go against? I remember they were promoting one that he was doing.
I don't know. Boy Wonder. I don't know who he
won. Find that real quick.
What's the name? Sean Garrett went against who Sean Garrett went against? It was and it was fire too, like you know what I mean? Because it was doing songs that they wrote and stuff too, like songs that they wrote and produced. Yeah, it was versus the Dream.
Yep. Somebody wrote that in the chat.
Crazy, like, so that was probably one of my, you know what I'm saying, one of my favorite ones. You know what I mean? Fab and Jada was dope.
Dream,
that one was fire. Sean Garrett in the Dream. But
Dream that ball, man.
That's I also wanted to mention Method Man versus Redman and also Ashanti and Keisha Cole. I might have already mentioned the Method Man and Redman. I just don't rank that one as high because it kind of turned into more of a performance with them together.
Yeah, I ain't like that, John. Like for them to be great artists, it's like they was a part of a group once upon a time, man. So it ain't make no sense to me. Like, you know what I mean, it was like you said, it was like a concert. They got too many songs together.
Yeah, different vibe.
True.
All right. Let's do some open questions, you guys. Anybody got any open questions tonight? We're still rocking. We got 250 people in the building. What an epic show tonight, man. What an epic show tonight.
Yeah.
Salute to everybody in here, man.
Salute to the Virgos. Any Virgos in the building? Big Virgo vibe. Virgo season. What's up, man?
Salute to the chat, man.
Vice P asks, and I'll bring this over to you, Bonds. Vice P says, why is Murder Inc. never bounce back if they so hot like Irv thinks? LOL. The Inc. don't got no artists.
See, because that's what you do. You understand? My bad. But see, that's real quick. Okay. That's what you do. It's not about how hard you get hit. See, because that's what 50 did. He took that. Some things make you or break you, man, to answer your question. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, you know, they didn't go past the next step of getting mad. Irv, you see, he's still talking about fighting, like, you know what I'm saying? And I love Irv, like Queens brothers, like everybody need to get along, like, you know what I'm saying? But just speaking from a fan standpoint, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's, you know, yeah, that's what dudes couldn't do that. Things make you or break you in life, bro. That's the answer to that.
Twiz, did you want to touch on that?
They wave was they wave, man. They run. There's plenty of artists that's legends that made great music that just, don't return, man. We can take it from the 90s all the way up to now, where you got an artist like Fat Joe. He was relevant in the 90s and he relevant now. But you can have like plenty of singers and rappers that had careers and their careers was lit. But times change. The music is different, man.
Now,
People ain't
Twiz.
if you can't stay upgraded.
Sorry, Twiz. Keep going.
No, I was just saying, if you can't stay upgraded with the music and how it is, it's really pointless. And let's not forget they had the indictment and they was dealing with issues within their group. Ashanti didn't want to be a part of the group no more because then after we all know the story when the indictment and everything had happened. So, things happen. They still human, but it don't take away from their legacy. It don't take away from their legacy.
Now, Philly Blunt says it was 420 for Red and Meth, though. And I'll agree with you on that. Everybody send in your questions. We're doing open questions right now. So it was 420, you guys. We all know a thing or two about smoking. So that's kind of why the vibe was extra friendly, you'd say, Twiz?
Facts. Facts. They vibe gonna be friendly. They brothers, man. Like they
All
just
right.
did it. That their joint was different, like with Red and Meth.
Now, guys, all right, Miguel wants to know Eminem versus, he said against, but the technical term, Miguel, would be Eminem versus
Wow.
Bonds, Twiz. Who we
Okay.
got? Eminem versus Twiz a little. No, Twiz did not say Eminem versus Jay-Z a little bit earlier. This one's
Yeah,
is this one just hard to sort of pick right off the top? Let's go Eminem versus
it
Lil Wayne.
is.
Let's go Eminem
No,
versus
I
Lil Wayne.
can't.
I mean, you saying T.I.
Wayne,
T.I. looking for somebody you could do Eminem versus T.I.
You know what, man? Yeah, I'll agree with you, man. Rather than just say I wouldn't be interested in it. You got anybody, Twiz?
I'm trying to think for Eminem.
That's
See,
crazy,
Eminem
right?
is a lyric. Yeah, I'm a lyricist. You got like his verses gotta make sense. You can't just put him in the ring with anybody, man.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Ludacris.
Well, Ludacris
Yeah,
already actually did one with Nelly.
Yeah, he did.
but
That's
yeah,
crazy.
that's true. That's true. It's
M
hard to
M
play
50 might
somebody
do
with.
it versus M. 50 might do one versus M.
Yeah, that would be friendly.
That's
I
probably
think he got too much he got too much respect for Eminem. Like without Eminem, I ain't gonna say without Eminem because 50 was a beast and he was on a chase of success, but I don't think he
Um,
would battle M on the verses.
Iceberg
that's why
says
I feel like
question.
some nothing red shit.
Iceberg said question. I know Bonds noticed, but did anybody else see how bad Remy wanted to slap fire out of Ja for repeating his slick remark?
Yeah,
Remy
yeah.
Remy act
Love that.
like she was gonna give him a buck 50 on the stage.
Yeah, she was hype. It get hype. Sometimes people get hype on the stage though. Like, you. It's an empowering thing. Some people get up there and you know what I mean? Ain't nobody, you know what I mean? So you gotta be careful
Spliff
with
Spark.
all that.
Spliff Spark says, thoughts on Fat Joe playing not a player in the battle. Twiz?
Yeah, we touched up on that earlier. Like you said, he was a part of that. Um, I spoke before when we talked about the stream before he had even started it, and I was like, we was speaking on like him mentioning big pun
Yeah.
music or busting out some big pun music on the John, and it was like issues with him and pun the family. So that just showed that he still represented. He ain't burn pun music out too much, So it was good, man.
All right,
He the only one that can bust pun music out.
let's discuss this a little bit. Jeremy K says 50 didn't put nobody out of business. The feds did. When they started beefing, Job put out 2 more albums, hit albums during their beef. He couldn't put out no more music when Def Jam dropped the Murder Inc. and the Fed case. Let's touch on that right now. So when the Fed case happens, you say Ja Rule put out 2 more hit albums. Let's be honest. The Last Temptation, Blood in My Eye, and RULE were not successful hip hop albums in standard to Veni Vidi Vici, Rule 336, and Pain is Lovin'. By the time Ja Rule came out with Mesmerized and Thug Lovin' with Bobby Brown, things were on the downward spiral for Murder Inc. The Last Temptation came out and the numbers were really not great. That's what led to Def Jam dropping Murder Inc. as a label. The numbers started to and then when he came out with the follow-up album to Last Temptation, Blood in My Eye, that album moved 125,000 copies in a week. You know, the album with the songs Crown and Clapback that he performed tonight, that album moved like just over 100,000 units in a week. So that album was not successful either. Then he came back with RULE with R. Kelly and Wonderful. And we saw, and that album just didn't do as well either. So that's why they lost their distribution. Did anybody follow that as well as me, or am I the only one who saw all that?
I didn't see all of that. I mean, well, yeah, I did. I mean, I didn't. I don't know. I didn't necessarily blame it on the feds, but you know what I'm saying? I can't take that into account. Like, I'm sure that has something to do with it. You know what I'm saying? So,
okay.
You know,
we can't.
So let's talk about the Last Temptation album then, Twiz. Ja Rule starts that album out, as we said earlier. Ja Rule followed up Pain is Love, his most successful album, with Thug Lovin' featuring Bobby Brown. That didn't do anything. They came out with Mesmerized. Mesmerized was not as successful as Always on Time or I'm Real. So it really, and then they followed that up with Murder Reigns. Remember that they did a video with the feds busting into their offices and all that? That
Facts.
shit didn't move no
Facts.
numbers either. He had 3
Facts.
duds. He had 3 duds. And I'm just being real.
Facts.
yeah, I mean, I'm saying I mean,
But that was by his 4th album, Bonds. You know what I mean? That's by his 4th album. He had already had
yeah,
many
but you never know how
Yeah.
the Fed case affect their, productivity, promotion, and you know what I'm saying, things like that. So, you know what I
But
mean?
listen, one thing about when the feds hit them, it ain't like they was gone for 10 years or nothing, bro. Like it wasn't even nothing crazy like that, bro. Like they was like it was something light. Like they ain't really sit and do no major time and nothing. It's like Drake. You can take
They
you
came
take
back. They
And that
came
shit
back.
affect the
yeah,
quality. Yeah,
They
that don't
did
yeah,
a
affect the
video.
quality.
They did the song with Lloyd
facts,
called Caught Up. You know,
Eventually,
they did New York.
facts,
They did New York. They did Caught Up. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Those
yeah.
records, they didn't blow up as big. I mean, in retrospect, New York is a very big record now. You know what I mean? But back
Right.
then, there was a lot of people hating on it.
Yeah,
fact. You got to
yeah.
keep the
Because
people
he had the
amused.
momentum.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
It went gold.
50 had the momentum, man.
50 had the momentum.
Yeah.
50 actually 50 actually promoted his artist, you know what I mean? Murder Inc. kind of made it easy for him to destroy the whole label. They didn't promote Black Child or Cadillac Ta or Vita or Charlie Baltimore, you know what I mean? Or they didn't
But
properly
dudes
sign
always
Little
want
Law.
something new too, though. Know what I'm
Huh?
saying? Dudes always want something new too, though. So they were seeing Ja Rule win for a while. Know what I'm saying? Then he come from an era. He come from the era before that, like, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, it just so happened because now if you pay attention, it's always the strategic move, certain strategic moves that the greats always make to maintain or to elevate their greatness, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just certain things that they do, like, like certain, like Jay-Z hopping on
Jay-Z,
certain records time, like the fact he don't
facts,
got an Instagram or you know what I'm saying? Like, just certain things that certain artists do, like, you know what I'm saying? His whole, you know what I'm
facts,
saying? He wasn't able to make that next, you know what I'm saying? standpoint because
Facts.
I guess I don't know if 50 really hindered that or if he just maybe 50 because he did have good crossover pop songs though, man. So you
or he
can't really
wasn't putting off,
music. Was
or
it the music?
he
Is what I was
I
gonna
mean,
say.
Buns, I mean, maybe he should have just saved Always on Time for the last Temptation album.
Shit like that.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe he should have just
That's
saved it.
that's play. Shit like that.
You can't change what happened. You know what I mean? You can't change what happened. Well, Smart says Ja Rule should just stop. Why should Ja Rule just stop at this point? He just proved how important he is to the culture of hip hop. Wouldn't you say, Twiz?
Yeah, well, he did stop. It ain't like he out here still trying to put music out. He just reminding people of the legacy that he had. He not out here trying to kill himself and do hits with Future. I mean, features with Future and nobody, none of these new guys that come after his time. So he playing his role. You know what I mean?
Yo, major
Shout out to
salute
the
to the
UK.
UK.
Much love and respect.
They're tapped in
Yeah.
right now.
Body in UK.
Twiz, I'm gonna bring this over to you. Bonds, you could touch on it as well if you'd like. But Twiz, didn't we just see one of the Waynes challenge somebody? I think it might have been Damon. Correct
Facts,
me if
they
I'm
did.
wrong. Damon.
We spoke. Yeah, we spoke on that a few weeks ago. That would be excellent for to see like comedians. You know what I mean? I even spoke on today like a whatever it's called, hologram battle. That would be lit. Like artists that's not here no more, and
Right.
had a like the 3D person up there and they do song for song. There's so many ways I think they can go with the verses. Like,
So
I mean, comedy would
Bond,
be a good one.
You
Damon
seen
Wayne,
you seen Kevin Hart, Chocolate Dropper. He you know what I mean?
but
He got
yo,
his little
Facts.
Bonds, Damon Wayne's called out Dave Chappelle though. Is Damon Wayne's out of bounds calling out Dave Chappelle for a versus? And how would a comedy versus even work?
um
5 minutes?
wow, would they go back and forth with jokes like you know what I mean? They make the crowd laugh more like
3 minutes or something like that? Like a monologue at the beginning of a talk show or something?
right. Or roast each other. Would they talk about each other? You know what I mean?
What do you think though? Damon Wayans against Dave Chappelle?
Nah, that's fire.
Yeah, you like that?
That's
Fire.
fire. That's fire. And also Marlon
Fire.
Wayans too. We can't forget Marlon Wayans. Marlon Wayans a beast on the low. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That boy funny as crap.
Marlon versus would be better. Marlon would be better
Yeah,
because they got
like
the same
yeah,
staff.
like
That's a fact.
yeah, like Marlon funny
Marlon
for real,
better.
for real.
Well, right here, Dubs ZTV says 3-6 Mafia versus Bone Thugs and Harmony.
That's
Fire.
Bonds.
that's
Not
that's a
fire. I
good
already
John.
told it.
Even
That's just fire.
yeah,
One
that's a good
simple.
John.
So what is that? Yeah, I mean, I guess you could have 5-on-5 potentially, unless you just
Yeah,
go with the three that the most people know, Crunchy, Juicy, you know what I mean? Crunchy, Juicy, and Paul. But you could add a couple of the other members and legitimately make it 5-on-5.
I tell you, I wouldn't want to be in a building without two guns. That's gonna be a thugged out situation, boy.
I don't know. I think it'll be more corporate bonds.
3-6 Mafia and Bone Thugs, man.
I think it'll
We
be
talking
more of the
about
last to walk 3-6
We talking
Mafia.
about Cleveland and Memphis, man. You better know, Mikey T. Cleveland and Memphis in the building.
See, 1017 TV says Kevin Hart versus Dave Chappelle. Now that I think is a more mainstream one, you guys.
Definitely, that's
it's
mainstream.
it's the it's the hype for the name, but Kevin Hart is nowhere near Dave Chappelle on no comedy, man.
Yeah, I agree.
What you mean, Shooter? Oh, it's open questions right now, man. Ask a question if you got something, Shooter. But
Shooter.
But we're gonna get to our plugs right now. Rosewood isn't in here, but everybody can follow Rosewood on Instagram. Rosewood will follow y'all back. I'm sure he'll get on that right now. So anybody that follows Rosewood, just know he will follow you guys back on the gram. I'm gonna post it up right now. Follow Rosewood, and it's actually pinned. Rosewood works with Razor. He's out of Philly. They got Spill ENT. Everybody show him some love. Now I'm gonna put up SV Twizzes as well. So Twiz, I just basically want you to run down your plugs, bro. Let everybody know what you got going on, where they can check you out, where they can tap in with you, bro. Definitely appreciate you coming on the live tonight.
Appreciate you having me, man. You already know. And you know what I'm saying? This your boy SV Twiz, man. Follow me on the gram _Twiz215. Follow me on YouTube at Life with a Philly Fan. Or just type in SV Twiz, the channel will pop up, man. And you know, I'm just a blogger from the city of Philly. I try to cover different topics on the channel. If y'all ain't check out the short film I got out right now, Torn Apart, starring Vodka Thousand Proof on that joint, make sure y'all tune in. Check it out. It's a real serious, you know what I mean, hub flick of things that's really going on out here in these streets. You know, and I'm in the midst of trying to get the second movie rolling. So if y'all interested in being a part of it, just DM me on Instagram, man. But other than that, we here with my brother. Salute Real Prophecy. You already know. Here with my brothers, Nike T, the movie star. Thanks for having me, bro. My other brother, Bon Simmons, and Honorable They not here. He's not here right now. He just tapped out. But much love and respect to everybody, man. Salute to the whole chat. It's all love, man. For sure, for sure.
Hell yeah, man.
I'm a
Twiz.
Bill Twiz.
Twiz, your opinions are always valued, bro. And Bon Simmons, he has a
Appreciate
new
it.
project, Local Legend, out right now. I'm putting up his Instagram. Everybody follow Bon Simmons. Bonds, let everybody know how they can get in contact with you. You know you are a rapper. Hold on. Matter of fact, Bonds, we got 200 people in here right now. I'm putting you on the spot. Bonds, we need some bars. Local Legend out right now.
They want some bars for the verses. I got bars, swear to God, for the churches. I put so many bars, I kill one of y'all, put them in hearses. No rehearses. Right off the top, I'm the best, not the worstest. You know what's up, Blue Hunters? They look like Smurfs and stuffed in my pocket. Y'all better stop it. Local Legend is going off like a rocket. Some of the hottest bars you ever heard. Couple features, check it, and that's my word. I stand on it, 10 toes, I stand by it. I'm going hard, eating all, no diet. Don't try it. Swear to God, you'll be dying. Swinging iron, I ain't lying. I'm the hydrant, fuck a drip. I got the whole splash, nigga. Getting cash. Local Legend in the stash, nigga. We gonna
Everybody
get
check
to the
out
bag, nigga.
Bonds.
Pull
Check out
card
Bonds.
ready.
Everybody check
SV2, come
out
on.
Bonds. Check out
Yes,
Bonds
sir. Off
Simmons,
the
y'all.
top.
Hell yeah. That
Off
was
the
just some
top.
off the top shit. But if y'all
Sound
hit
like
the link,
man.
if y'all hit the link in the bio right now, Bond Simmons has a new project out, Local Legend, and he's got a track with Dark Low on there. It's called Free the Men. Y'all should check that out.
Free the men, though. Free the men, like for real, free the men. My bro coming home, I just mailed off a box of parole clothes today, man. To my bro at the 12 joints. Yeah, so free the men. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we giving it up. Yeah, I got Dark Low on there. I got Joint with Kid on there. Got Bigger Rank and the OG on there. Got my Artist Glow music on there. Zaguwap. And working, man. It's fire, man. Go check that out, man. For real. It's up.
It's right here, guys. Check it out.
Report Card Radio. This is family. It's my second home.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? You know, SV 12, that's my brother. This
yes,
I mean, it's my second home, man. You know what it is. Find me here. Follow me on the gram.
That's right. I got it posted right there, you guys. And everybody on here can follow me. Everybody that follows me, I will follow you guys back right now. I've got it posted up. Everybody that follows me back, I will follow y'all right after we get off this live. All that's right. All 177 of you that follow me right now, I will follow you back. But I also want to send you over to SV Twiz YouTube channel so you guys can check out some of his new interviews. Go check out SV Twiz's YouTube channel right here as well. Bonds, I really appreciate you tapping in, man.
You got to work over there, Twiz.
You
On
got
your joint too, man.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it, Bonds. That's love. I appreciate it, bro. That means a lot to me.
For sure, bro.
If
Yeah,
anybody,
man, I appreciate you for having me, man. Thank you for opening up your doors for me, man. Know that? Slow love, bro.
It's only one way from here, and that's up.
Oh, yeah. Let them know, Twiz. Let them know.
Yeah, man. You already know, man. This Report Card Radio, hip hop panel, and it's only one way from here, and that's up.
Hell yeah, yo. This is the hip hop panel. Make sure you hashtag that, the hip hop panel. I appreciate everybody tapping in. And you want to know what? We're going to have AR Rab's thoughts on this battle coming up tomorrow. Twiz, you're going to have to come back and join me back for that, for AR Rab's thoughts on this battle as well tomorrow.
Definitely.
Free the men.
You know, I'm here, man. You know how we carry it. Free the men.
You know, the hip
Much
hop
love
panel
and
is always
respect to everybody in the comments.
And if anybody has any topics that you want to suggest to us, you know, the hip hop panel, Bond Simmons, Rosewood, Twiz, and myself, Mikey T, the movie star, hit me on the gram. My gram is pinned right now. So everybody that follows me, hit me with a DM, shoot us topics. You know what I'm saying? Tonight, we went over a few different topics. We covered the battle, the Verzuz battle in full, but we also touched on the new rift, or the reopening of a rift with 50 Cent and Irv Gotti. We spoke on what happened with Lil Mo and Remy Ma, and then we also spoke on the potential battles that T.I. has either denied or has been turned down for. So it was a dope show tonight. I really appreciate my co-hosts, Rosewood, Twiz. Thank you, bro. Bonds, salute to you, my G.
Sir, salute.
Peace.
Salute, y'all. Peace. Love.